discussion with him. His
What I
phone number
yeah.
should have been included in there, so an opportunity to contact
I
him.
had no idea for a phone number. It was that the city's gonna take legal action for abatement. And then he give me, this is dated, he give me less than a week to get it done. It had to be done by 6/6. And then the trees, they give me till like the 22nd or something.
Wendy, you guys phone number
Yeah, I was just gonna write that down.
Yeah, but
or card or something?
it said right here if I wanted to contest it, to come to the city council. So that's why I'm here. I wanna contest some of these. And I thought, you deal with Adam, I don't. He didn't knock on my door, he didn't talk to me.
Okay.
He give these pictures to you. Can I approach?
Yep.
Or because I.
Well, we have all the pictures in our packet here.
All the pictures that he took, not the ones that I brought.
Okay.
I brought a whole bunch.
I have a question for
Yes.
you. Do you have family that could have helped you out when you were incapacitated?
No, I wish I did. I wish I did. They all work, they're all busy. I have a couple sons that could, but they won't. Justin has a back problem, so he couldn't help me. No, that was a no. It's a hard no.
Nothing in the packet.
Right.
That's a hard no. I wish I did
Can I
have
see
it.
your pictures?
And then I wished I could've just afforded to pay somebody to do it, but my only income is. You need this, or you want these individual? Well, I wanted to show them to you individually, so we can
Okay.
address each one.
Alright.
Like the first picture, the fence. This is what happened to the fence last year.
Okay.
Had a large tree land on it. I was real quick to remove the tree. That's what it looked like when he took the picture. This is what it looks like now.
Okay. So.
Are we okay there?
So the fence has been repaired?
Yes, yes.
That's all we're after.
I understand that. And then,
Sidewalk?
no, this one here,
Dead limbs?
dead limbs. I cut them all up. There's a picture of the same tree leaning, and they're all gone. These two pictures are not on my property. Not at all. This is my neighbor's garage, and that's his car. So this is the property between his garage and my property. So them limbs are on his property. But, as a neighborly thing to do, I knocked on his door like they don't do to me, and talked to him. I went over, me and my grandson went over and cut all them limbs up and disposed of them. So these are no longer there, even though they wasn't on my property.
Okay.
Now it comes to this and this.
Okay.
Okay, this is siding. You guys sent me a letter complaining about the siding 2 years ago. So I dug it all back out. I wasn't able to finish it when I started it. And I piled it, it's piled on my sidewalk. We have to clean them pieces one at a time with a pressure washer and a brush because they've been sitting for 10 years. So they're sitting on my sidewalk so they don't kill the grass. And I'm gonna use them again this year. Last year, because of the back, because of the roof, I never got to finish, but I did, I did side the porch on the southwest corner. I sided that. So that's what I got done last year with siding. The siding's gonna sit there. I'm not gonna move it. If you guys want me to move it, we'll go to court, cause I'm gonna leave it there until I use it. It's gonna be used. Probably all this year, but I'm all set up, ready. I got scaffolding set up to start doing that. And then, that one, my empty cardboard boxes and the trash, well, the thing with the yellow is a stabilizer for my camper.
Okay.
That leaned up against that pile for 4 days. 4 days, so his timing was impeccable, that he got a picture of it. But here's that pile. It's over $700 worth of clipstone stone veneer. Okay? I didn't buy it because I was ready to install it. When I was buying the stuff for my roof, some guy had ordered that at Menards, didn't come pick it up, so they kept pricing it lower and lower and lower until somebody would take it. I bought it for $50. It was like $780 worth of clipstone. It's got the metal on it, I'm gonna put it on the lower half of the porch facing south. From the windows down, I'm gonna put it on, but I don't know, probably next year, probably not this year at all, I'm working on siding this year.
So the issue
So
will
there's a
not be
pile of
taken care of until
dripstone,
next year?
huh?
The issue, the problem will not be taken care of until next year?
This pile of stuff, yes,
Yeah.
it won't be moved. It will not be moved. If you want it moved, if you think that's garbage and needs to be moved, I'll see you in court. That's just all there is to it. We'll let a judge decide whether that's trash or whether that's debris or whether it's a hazard or anything. It's clipstone, it's stone veneer, and there's over 1,000 pounds of it. I'm not moving it.
Is
It's
it
gonna
in your
stay there.
back, fenced-in backyard?
No, it's right on the outside of the chain link fence, right at the backyard. But yeah, I'm not gonna move it. That's just all there is to it. We talked about the abatement and, yeah, the siding, I'm not gonna move until I use it, as I use it, which will probably be all this year. But the stone I probably won't get to it this year at all. I've got too much other stuff to do. I've got 3 dead ash trees I have to remove. Limbs are falling out of them, as you can see, you give me pictures of the limbs that fell out, and that was my problem, so I gotta remove those trees as soon as I can come up with enough money to afford a lift, because they're too high. I scrape month to month. All I get, Social Security, retirement benefits leave a lot to be desired, trying to raise, and, so, as soon as I can come up with $200 for a lift for a day, then I'm gonna cut them trees out, so yeah, I don't have time to do that stone veneer this year, okay? And then this is for Mrs. Philpotts only. She's the only one who really gives a shit about that. That's the sidewalk.
Well,
Now,
yeah, no, we
You're
gave
the
you
only one who's asking
permission
about
to
it.
do that, but I was asking,
well, there
Why
you
it
go.
was
No,
not
there
done.
you go, we're not,
no,
I
I
wasn't
was
talking to- I
asking
wasn't
why it
talking
was
to-
not
I'm
done,
sorry,
since
Dale.
we spent a lot
Dale.
of time.
I'm sorry, Dale, I wasn't, I don't wanna discuss anything with her.
Cleaned up all of them.
She's biased and she's.
Just talk to the mayor.
No, I'm not.
Speak to the mayor, please.
Alright,
Just speak to
so-
the mayor.
I drive by there, and it bothers me.
So what we have right at this moment is, I appreciate
Pile
that
of
you have
clipstone.
the sidewalk covered.
Yes,
You have the clipstone and the siding
Siding,
that the
yes.
council will need to make a decision on as to
on
whether.
if it's garbage or if it's not, yeah.
You said the sidewalk is covered?
Yeah, see, there's your picture. We just worked on it 2 days ago.
What about, you said the sidewalk, your sidewalk goes all the way to the back of your
That's
property.
the picture going all the way back to, there's my property line right there.
Your property line is back there.
What is it covered with?
Dirt. Dirt that I
Doesn't
got
look like
from
it to
the
me.
company pulling the fiber optic cables, when they were digging for the things. They were hauling a bunch of it out and they give me 3 loads of dirt, so I covered it with dirt. I'm hopefully, maybe by fall, I can afford a 5-pound bag of grass seed, but I don't know if I will or not. I think I might just cover it in dandelions or something for the pollinators. They need it.
I'd like to know why you say that I'm biased, because I'm not, I drive by
Because everything
it.
I say, everything I've said at any city council meeting, you've thrown up.
Well, I just question about it.
You're
Never
addressing
mind.
me, thank you.
Yes, I'm addressing you, Bill, so, anyway. Yeah,
I don't
sidewalks
do
covered.
that as a councilwoman.
We have, this is from the notice.
Yes,
There's
that's
six
what they
items-
sent me.
6 items.
The 2
Yeah,
bottom
that were
ones.
identified.
The bottom ones are
not
not
on
my
the
property,
2 bottom ones are not your property.
but I did take care of it.
Okay, so
'Cause
there
I'm a
were
good
4
neighbor.
items that,
Yep.
were part of the notice.
Yes,
The fence,
the fence has been
the
fixed,
siding that's laying in your yard.
yes, up
You
in my
you
yard.
said
on
you
the sidewalk.
moved that to the sidewalk?
No, it's still right where, when I originally put it there, that's on a sidewalk.
Oh, it's on a private sidewalk?
Yeah, private
Okay.
sidewalk that goes from my thing out to the driveway.
Uh,
So that's what it didn't kill it. And when you clean it with a pressure washer, you can't have it laying in the yard, or you throw more mud up on it, then you clean off of it.
Yep, and then The third one looks like some downed trees,
Got them, they're all gone.
okay? And the
There'll
fourth
be
one
more.
is a
Box, or
pile of
Yeah, here it says
miscellaneous
a-
items.
Here it says a pile of cardboard boxes, loose refuse and trash. And then building materials laying around the property, laying around on the property.
Well, it looks like there might be a mower there and,
Yeah, yeah,
uh, and so
they did.
what have you done to remove that, miscellaneous pile of items?
I don't know what they're talking about, the miscellaneous pile, you mean that? Yeah,
Talking
that
about
one, that one, I put the thing back in the garage.
What
That-
thing?
That thing with the yellow on it, that's a stabilizer for my
okay.
camper, that's what I was telling him, that laid there for 4 days, so his timing was impeccable. Everything else is moved except for the clipstone, everything
Okay.
else is gone.
Well,
And the
uh,
clipstone, yeah, there's
I think
probably
you should,
1,000, 2,000
call the
pounds.
inspector and have him re-inspect. You've come to the council.
Yes.
You've identified what you've done.
What I've done and what I'm gonna
And
do.
so now, wouldn't it be appropriate to have the inspector re-inspect?
Yep.
And if there's if there are still violations,
Well, they would still say
then-
it's building materials, wouldn't they, laying around the property?
To be honest with you, I really think it just need a conversation with Mr. Coyle, and that will help clear this up.
And
tell him your schedule and see,
I'm retired.
well, it doesn't make any difference whether you're retired or not.
I don't have a
If
schedule.
if you
I'm
want
home.
to,
Yeah.
have the sighting on
Oh,
within
you
the
mean
next
the
12
schedule
months,
with- Yeah, I
Yeah.
see what you're saying. I
Then
thought you meant
you
like
should-
when I'm gonna be home,
you
my
should
schedule.
negotiate that with him.
Mhm.
The clipstone, you said
Oh.
is going to be a year from now.
Probably.
So let him know and just see see if there's, something that, can
Does-
be
I'm sure you'll
accommodated.
see
Does he
improvement.
have authority over that then?
The point, he is our granted authority to handle those issues.
Okay.
The point and principle behind what we've told Mr. Coyle is that we wanna see cleanup, and we wanna see progress, and you're showing progress,
Yes,
that's all we're after.
I'm trying.
And
I can't,
people
I can't
have,
fight City Hall.
people have different abilities and different timelines, and we need that communication with him
Mhm.
as to an expected time of completion. So that's really what we're after, and you're showing that you're doing the things that
Mhm.
we're looking for.
Well, and
I
I
don't-
was showing you why it
I
had.
understand, that, and
why it
all of
was
that plays
flagged.
into it, and that's part of the conversation with Mr. Coyle. Okay, Mr. Coyle would reach out to us before issuing the citation,
Yeah.
okay?
Can he knock on my door?
He can next time
Yes.
he comes in town.
Please.
You should,
Have that
you should
phone
call him
Call him so
and
that you can
ask
let him
him
know.
next time he's in town to knock on your door.
No. Notice he gave me,
Wendy's got a phone number. right
She's
there.
got a phone number for you.
yeah. Yep, to comply, city may undertake abatement and further actions. Yeah, Adam Coyle.
Yep.
Yeah, you may request a hearing before the city council if you dispute this matter within 10 days, and I did it the same day I got it, so. So yeah, next time he comes in, just send me.
She
my-
has a phone number. You can give him a call and arrange
And
a
an
time.
email.
Well, can he call me?
Huh?
Can he call me at his discretion?
Well,
If you received the
Probably
letter,
not.
you probably should call him in return.
I'll wait for him to call me.
he will not call you, you'll be in violation, and we'll take action. I mean,
I'm
this
sorry,
is simple.
I'm not trying to be difficult, but we'll, yeah. If that clipstone and them siding is in violation, then we'll.
Okay.
He's gonna come back by and re-inspect it, and
You should.
Most
yes,
likely.
please,
Yep.
yes, please.
Yeah, anything else?
No, can I have my
Pictures?
the part of that was mine back? Yes.
Anything else for public comment?
No, not for me.
Anybody else? All right. We'll move on to sheriff's report.
Hello, Deputy Barnett, for those of you that don't know me, I'm just here to see if you guys have
Wanna
any
come up
issues
front
or
a bit?
anything that you guys want us to pay extra attention to.
It is summertime and speeders and black marks, they're.
Loud cars and motorcycles.
Are you guys noticing them on a certain road more than others, just everywhere?
Broad Street right now, some fresh ones in the last few weeks. I haven't seen any fresh ones on Main Street, which is nice, so.
Oh, there was a nice big circle up there on the four-wheel drive, the four-way stop.
Was there a four-way
Yeah.
stop? I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
I usually cross the sidewalk there, so.
Your local druggies like to hang out at Scout Park still after dark, you can go down that one.
Awesome, I'll be out at night, maybe I'll get her out there.
I did, my city man asked if, could I have a little more, maybe some time spent at the city park. We had some hooligans that were moving around picnic tables and standing them up on end in our gazebo. And we've had some graffiti on the slides and, other stuff. It's mostly kid stuff, but.
There's one.
But that's really,
Case in point.
those are the kind of things I've seen and heard lately, so.
Okay.
I think they're trying to find out how fast they can drive from the edge of town to Collins to, it's,
Yes.
210 is very active,
Yeah,
so.
always.
Might wanna check out underage children, like under 15, the motorbikes and things like that they are riding in the street and causing, not stopping at stop signs, they're going right through in front of cars, so.
Are you saying motorbikes, are you talking about like the little mini bikes or like
Yes.
full size?
Yes, I mean, they're young children and they need to be taught what the rules of the road are. We don't want any of them getting hurt and we don't want other people having problems because of that. And I know that
Told that
parents should do
individual
that.
they needed to contact the sheriff's office when they were sending pictures to me. It doesn't do me any good. I can't enforce.
Yeah, I think we
No.
just, had somebody send us something about that, the underage or
Yep.
the muffle and stuff. With July coming up, do you know your fireworks ordinance off the top of your head? Do you guys have one here?
We just follow the state ordinance.
All the same, okay.
Is that accurate?
Yes. I thought the legislature passed a bill that says no city has local
Authority.
control anymore.
Could be it,
I don't think it takes effect until July 1st though.
sometime for the
Which,
holiday.
Would hit July.
Which would be-
Yeah.
But it actually opens in June, so it was a week before the 4th of July that they can start lighting them off, I think, so.
Yeah, fireworks, I wrote that down. It's like July 3rd and 4th on private property only and December 31st. That was from the governor's.
Alright.
Anything else?
We have our Old Settler celebration coming up in August,
Yep.
first weekend in August. And then there's been some rodeo things going on here in town on the weekends, so we would like our police force to be around as much as possible.
Sounds good, I will relay that to the other deputies. Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
You too.
Alright, on to presentation for the Heart of Iowa Nature Trail celebration August 9th. Ms. Davis and Mr. Cox, welcome.
Good. How are you guys this evening?
Good, how you
Good.
doing?
Good.
Floor's all yours.
Perfect, right? Do you want
Yeah, I'll
to
just,
kick off and then I'll.
yep,
go?
absolutely. I just wanna make sure, does everyone have a copy of do you guys need a copy of what we got? So my name is Crystal Davis. I work for Story County. I am the county outreach and special projects manager. And we're really excited to be here today, so thanks for having us. We are celebrating the completion of the paved path all the way from Slater to Collins along the southern edge, the heart of, southern edge of our county, the Heart of Iowa Nature Trail. And so in honor of that, August 9th, Saturday, we are gonna have a celebration, and that'll include a bike ride in partnership with the Iowa Bicycle Coalition. We will start at Slater with a rolling start. That means anytime between 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. they will start the ride. We do have a registration site that the Iowa Bicycle Coalition put together. The ride is free, but they do encourage registration, just so we can kind of have an idea of how many riders might be out on the path and going on a ride. And what we're excited about is that going through all the cities along the trail, we'd like to, well, we wanted to tell you about it, and we'd like you to also to participate. And so we'd like to ask if you might consider having your city be involved, and it could be things like having something or some people or some food or coffee or beverages down at the as it goes by the trail. It could be signage or people saying to direct them to get off their bikes and come this way. If there's something you want them to see on Main Street or in a park or in town. Could be just having a local musician nearby, all kinds of things. Really open to any of that. And it's just a way to have the bike riders come through, take a moment to take a rest, possibly need a restroom or a porta potty, a bottle of water or coffee or something like that. And then anything we can do to showcase them what you have here, that they should enjoy and partake in. We'll continue on all the way up to Collins. At 12:30, we're gonna have a ribbon cutting and photo opportunities to celebrate this. And then the coalition, the Bicycle Coalition, has let us know this is a ride where not very many people will send a car ahead and pick you up, and then you go somewhere else. The riders, most of them, will all then come back along the path as they go back to Slater at the starting point. So there's two opportunities that you'll see riders come through your town. And the coalition also is suggesting their best practices from other rides they host. Anywhere from 200 to 300 riders they anticipate for this. Plus, so those are the riders, plus there could be people who just wanna see what's happening in your town. Your neighbors might come down to the trail, check it out. Other visitors might be wondering what's going on. Like, I'm not a bicyclist. I don't like to ride a bike, actually, unless it's going really slow. So, you know, I'm one of those that I really like to see what other, when I go to visit other cities, what they've got. You know, I don't ride, but I might go eat some pie or have a drink somewhere, that kind of thing. So, yeah, and so in partnership with Conservation, they also have a staff member that does communications and outreach along with what we do at the county, and then the Bicycle Coalition. We would want to reach back out. I can reach back through Wendy, or she can tell me other folks to reach out to. But we want to come back to you in a little bit of time and say, hey, do you want to do something? What can we do to promote on the registration through the county, through Conservation's efforts, to say this is what's shaken in Maxwell during this bike ride and celebration to help promote what you've got going on as well. And then we're planning of our communication unit is gonna host a Zoom or Teams meeting a little, probably in July. We'll try to get all the cities together in Zoom, and we'll say, we can share with each other what's gonna happen in each town along the ride. So we'll be sending that invite out as well, so.
The Parks and Open Space Committee met last night, and the chair of that committee is here, and I think that they started discussion of what they can do. So your best contact person is going to be Jody.
Sit down and get some. Yeah.
You mentioned 200 to 300 riders. Is that what you normally get on the bike rides that you've held before?
We've never coordinated a ride before, so that's why we're working with the Iowa Bike Coalition who has. And, you know, yeah, 200 to 300, that's such a,
Yes.
it's such a
Well,
wide range in that.
The reason I'm asking is, that's the first weekend of the state fair,
Yeah,
and so you're gonna be losing
Yeah.
a lot of people that
Yeah.
might be bike riders
right,
to go to the state fair.
sure, sure.
Since it's the weekend,
absolutely.
Which might also be pulling random people
Might be
from
pulling.
town.
Yeah,
to
we
different
knew
towns
we were
along the way.
competing with the fair, and we struggled and struggled to find a date that would work, and that's the best one we could come up with. You know, when we look at all the other activities going on, summers are hard. But as Crystal said, my name's Mike Cox, by the way, I'm the conservation director. Some of you I know, and some of you we've worked together on this trail for some time. I believe Mr. Gast was with us at a dedication ceremony in Slater in the mid-teens to late teens when we got started. So it's been going on. Crystal said, we've now we are complete all the way to Collins, as you know. About a $7.6 million project, all said and done. And of that, about 2% came from Story County taxes. So it's wonderful. We were able to get all that other money and to bring it here. Our goal is to have a trail that's usable, that's celebrated by all the communities that it goes through. And with that brings an incredible amount of economic development, and we know that. High Trestle Trail has proven that time and time and time again, so we know that. What we're trying to do with this event, we want to celebrate that trail is now open. We want to celebrate with the bike ride, but we also know that trail is, not all of us, as Crystal said, not all of us are bikers. She doesn't bike, I don't bike, our project manager that has done this from day one doesn't bike, etc. So there's lots of people that don't bike. We don't need it to be all about bikers. And so that's one of the reasons we're also hoping that the cities can come in and help us with activities. Let's give a reason for people to come down and celebrate that, whether you're a biker or not. Maybe you hike, maybe you like to go bird watch, whatever it may be, along the trail. And so that's one of the things we're hoping to provide an opportunity for everyone to have a party on the trail and not have to have the sheriff's office involved with it.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And this is something I think I asked Dale, but maybe others would like clarification on it. Motor vehicles, like four-wheelers and, you know, all of that. Tell me about that, or tell us about that.
So
Are they
motorized vehicles are not allowed on the trail.
Okay, so the four-wheelers that are going
Correct.
through town and driving on the trail are not to be there.
Correct. Correct.
That's what I kinda thought I remembered, but I wasn't sure on that.
It's always a struggle.
And
Yeah.
so is that something that the sheriff enforces?
And
Since
our
it's
folks.
Yeah,
And yours?
I've seen the conversation, or
Yeah. So
the
we have,
officer go through with his truck and drive down just to check things
yeah,
out, so.
we have certified law enforcement folks as well. And so, Pat is one of those, Pat. We've got 4 folks dedicated to that. And so in addition to the sheriff's office is probably just gonna call us, and we're gonna be the ones that are enforcing it.
So what's the thing that we should do? I mean, by the time we call you, they're gone.
Yeah.
So do
And-
we take photos, identify who it is, and then you will contact them?
Yes, yeah, that would be fabulous.
Okay.
If you can get photos, if you get license plates, best description you can, if you can't get either of those. And we'll keep an eye out. It is difficult, as you know, it's difficult, but we do the best we can with it.
Can I ask a question as a citizen? What about electric bikes?
At the moment, they are allowed.
Okay, that's
Yep,
all I wanna
yep.
know, I see them everywhere, and
Yeah.
there's even electric assisted bikes.
Correct.
I didn't know, cause
Yep.
that'd be the only way I'd be able to go from Slater to.
Right.
That'd be something helping me.
Right. Any other questions? I wanna thank Crystal for all the work that she's doing with this, working with all the cities and helping get the word out. But
So I know you guys did a great job of getting the dirt work and all that stuff, and then, you know, seeding, but then, you know, the weeds come up. Who takes care of all that? I know, like down here on the, at the beginning of the trailhead where the railroad by our sign that says welcome to Maxwell, weeds are like this big, and it just, who takes care of it there? Is that something the city takes care of, or?
depending on, I don't recall the lay of the land there exactly. Is that on city property or is that
Well,
on county
it's,
property?
the trail goes through and then the dirt goes like this, and that's
Right.
where the,
Right.
you know, wherever the seeding is done.
How wide is
Right.
the trail right
Right
away
away.
for, that you maintain?
Yeah, so we generally will mow shoulders on the trail.
Okay.
It's a 10-foot trail and then we'll do, we'll do shoulders.
Couple foot on each side?
Yeah, at least one mower width, so let's say
Probably
3
4
feet,
foot.
4 feet,
Yeah.
on the 4 feet anyway on the side.
So is it within 4 foot of the edge of the trail?
Some of them were, but yeah, otherwise it was probably further out, maybe.
We'll,
Something we probably could have took care of.
we'll take a look
Maybe
at it.
something we should take care of,
Yeah.
since it's
Yeah.
city property.
Yeah, it's in the ditch, you know, it was all reworked and it's in the ditch, so
I
it
know
would be ours.
15 years ago, the city had the responsibility for mowing within the city limits. So that is no longer the case. You guys do the trail,
I think we're
or
mowing through,
which is great.
maybe Wendy, I think we're mowing through, put it that way.
Well, if it doesn't get mowed, we'll make sure it does, one way or the other.
Yeah.
And as long as Crystal is here, I have a question for her on an unrelated matter. Story County Economic Development Group Annual Report.
Yes.
Keep getting nasty grams.
Oh.
We have to fill ours out. And I've been filling it out for the past 3-4 weeks. The form center does not allow a print of the form. You have to submit it in order to get a copy. And I hate that from anybody. If I'm filling it out, I should be able to print, get a print of what I filled out, so I
So
can
you can
check it
review it,
out.
yeah.
I can sit with Doug, who's really the representative, and make sure that we got everything correct, which I can't do, so I went ahead and submitted it and emailed a copy to Doug. If I got it wrong, he's gonna yell at me.
I yell a lot.
Yeah, I believe it.
So it would be
Okay.
nice if that had a way to print the information that you put in before you submit it.
Yep. We'll go take a look at that. I'm gonna be honest with you and say, we internally as a staff do not like the form center that came with that website software. And, but we'll see if we can get it changed, cause I'm with you, I like to print off proof and then submit. So let me see if we can fix it without,
We did get ours
Yeah.
submitted.
Yes.
I just hope it's
so
right.
thank you, yeah. If you need to change it, we understand that. If you guys look at it, you can obviously come back to us. We've had a couple of people do that in the past, but thanks for that. And, we're actually starting the preliminary work to review, website companies. And that's one of the reasons why, is we don't like how they do forms, so, but thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here,
Yeah.
so that I could
Yes.
unload it.
No, it's all right. And I was gonna say, thank you for introducing me to Jody. as I am doing with all the cities, regardless if I get another person like Jody in another city, I am copying all the clerks, just so that the city always has a copy of what we're saying
I appreciate
about
that.
this event, so, but thank you.
One of the things I'll add, or I'm sorry,
No, go ahead.
one of the things I'll add too, while we're all here, again, kind of on a tangent, but, the state's REAP program, is an opportunity, it's a grant opportunity, for cities, has one portion of that as an opportunity for cities to apply for grants for park and open space improvements. You know, we're always eager to get as many grants as we can, possible from Story County, and so if that's something you're interested in, I put an email out, the county has a REAP committee. Now those grant applications come from any city, have to be approved by the county, in order to be considered at the state level, so, you should have that information. If you don't, I can send that again.
If you'd resend it, that'd be great, so that we can make sure we get it out. Mentioned last night that to the Parks and Open Spaces Committee about the REAP grant, cause we have some.
It was discussed?
Yeah,
Okay.
we have some planning that was done last year
Oh,
that
okay.
tied in with the trail that we were.
Oh, good.
Like to see come to fruition.
Oh, good. I know, I think Cambridge is considering one for maybe trailhead facilities, parking facility there at the trail as well, so.
Yep.
No, that'd be great. That'd be fabulous.
Appreciate it. Yes.
Do you happen to know, I'm sorry, if, we have an integrated roadside vegetation management plan now? Is that, can we look for, those grants to do along the bike trail? I know, you know, it's along the roads, right of ways and
If
things
the
like that.
trail is also adjacent to a right of way, I believe that.
Okay, but it would have to be adjacent to.
Yeah, it would still have to be, yep,
Okay.
yep. But yeah, that is a portion of the REAP program also. So, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys very much for coming down.
Nice
Appreciate
to
it.
meet you too.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks.
I just wanted that email back. You just didn't get it?
You don't have much time.
Okay.
I got it. Thanks, Mike, it's good to meet you.
Oh, did you want me to note my stuff, is that it? Or were you talking about getting grants?
Both.
Oh, okay.
You have your report file, we'll get to it later. You don't need to stick around.
Okay, well, I was just gonna, I highlighted for Crystal, you know, the response to complaints. Yeah, I think it all got handled and then, yeah, it's in the report.
Excellent. Thank you, Jody. Move on to discussion and possible approval of Maxwell Old Settlers Steering Committee, Inc., DBA, doing business as Old Settlers Generations, Class C, special liquor license for 5 days at 100 Army Post Road.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion?
In the future, it will be 101 Army Post Road.
Has that taken effect yet?
Yeah.
Folks shouldn't be on this, it's taken.
No.
I haven't recorded it yet. I talked to Story
That's
County
okay.
Recorder, and just because we've already approved 2 for Maxwell Market in the Park in June, and this was pending, she said just for ease of use, if they've already
Okay.
contacted vendors, not to confuse everyone, and the Monday after Old Settlers, I'll get it recorded.
Okay,
To be
well, that's
official.
what I was wondering as I was looking through this, is
Yeah.
that the correct date, because we've made changes?
Yep.
Okay. I got another question. Why is the information from the previous year in here?
Oh, just
That was my
mistake.
error.
That was,
Wendy's error.
it wasn't supposed to be.
That's why there's,
Oh,
that's why
okay.
there's, that's why
That's why
there's,
it's
it's
Xed
Xed out, that's why.
Well,
Mine isn't.
she got her packet early.
Um,
That was my administrative
we
error.
caught that later, or earlier today, so
It
she
was
actually
adjusted
starts
today.
out.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
well, I questioned that.
There was an
too.
email out.
Sorry, because I didn't know, I wasn't given the information, right?
Any further discussion? Doug?
Yes.
Joel?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Sue?
On the insurance company information,
Sue, we're
does
already
it have
past-
to have
Sue,
outdoor?
we're already past discussion, we're in a vote.
We're in a vote.
Well, then I'll say no because I still have questions that I didn't get a chance to answer.
Alright, now would you like to ask your question?
Yeah, I would like to know on the insurance company information, is the outdoor service effective date, does that, I always thought that had to be on there. I know other licenses that we have
Which
done.
page are you on?
21.
Page 21.
I know it's been on other licenses that we have looked at, and if so,
I know it wasn't on the one that was accidentally put in there from last year.
I've got question marks on that too, do you wanna see?
So that was last year, and
I
it wasn't
know.
on there,
So,
and we approved it.
what is your question about on page 21?
I just wondered, I know I've seen on the outdoor service effective date. I just, I want
Outdoor
things
service
correct so that
effective.
there's no problems when this is submitted.
I would guess it would be the same date as what's up above where it says policy expiration
It's
date.
already
I
been
know,
submitted.
but
August 4th.
Yeah.
It's already been submitted, that's how,
Yeah.
that's how it's printed off their website here. So,
The
well,
state.
I didn't look at the website, so I would.
no, I'm just saying, it's already been submitted.
As I said at the last meeting, stop and think about it.
Alright, we'll move on. Discussion of possible approval of Dollar General's tobacco permit.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion.
You should have something else. Thank you.
Joel.
Have a good night.
Yes.
Sue.
Yes.
Doug.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Discussion of possible action on assignments for citywide cleanup day.
Aye. Is there anything for us to act on here? Cause I have a question.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
More about us just showing up.
I don't like the word assignment, that sounds
Yeah.
pretty
Oh.
ominous.
I believe there is, the rodeo grounds are in use, on that Saturday. They have some activity going on starting at 11 o'clock.
Do we need to move it?
Yeah,
forward
it is.
somebody's way?
Barrel racing at 11 and 1.
So there will be horses down there probably at 9:30. And instead of having the location where we've traditionally had it, although Jody left and she says it's not a tradition, they used to do it on Jennings and, Trotter.
Oh, Jennings.
I'll tell you why I liked it down there, cause it's shaded.
Exactly.
Cause it gets hot unloading all those trucks.
Over by the food stand on that side of the loop, there are trees there.
But, I mean, we could move it to, Woodlawn, right next to your house.
We're gonna be in Kansas City, so go ahead.
Or we could do it, like they used to do, at Jennings, right next to the restroom. But we're gonna I think we're gonna have to move it.
We are,
Yeah.
I think you're right, I think it'd probably
If
be
you
best
guys
to
have
move it.
private park, you guys could at least use the park restrooms over there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of we wanna be able to keep consecutive moving traffic, that's kind of our
Yeah, that
ticket
flow-through
goal
is good.
is to keep them moving.
And so if, you know, if we did it on Jennings, not Jennings, on Trotter, between Broad and First, they could come in, from the north, go through and exit on the south. And I think there's enough room there for,
Put the dumpsters in the parking area.
yeah,
Yeah. I like that.
whether we put it on the, west side of the road, or whether we put the dumpsters on the east side of the road, we can figure that out.
They're coming from the north, though, it'd be on the right-hand side if we did west.
Correct.
the
Which
normal
is-
flow of traffic.
yeah.
Which is what we have done in there before, so that would be probably the best.
And less relocation of, city equipment. I mean, it's right there.
But Wendy will need to contact people to dump, or to bring the dumpsters to make sure that
They know where.
they don't drop them in the old
Okay,
place.
I can call him tomorrow.
Okay.
Great.
That sounds like a good plan to have them on the west side of Trotter, so that the traffic flow coming from the north would be on that side. We can direct people around
Yeah.
without interfering with what's happening in the barrel racing.
So
Yeah.
west side of Trotter between Broad and First Street, they'll enter in the north, exit in the south.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put that on Facebook and, the website too,
Perfect.
the changes.
Does our, sign out there work?
It does.
Oh, okay.
She's getting good at it.
I noticed it was dark for a couple days there.
I know, I blame the fire department, their little pagers, they have training Sunday and Tony said there's some kind of interference, but I got it back up.
Oh, okay.
So I believe there'll be some fee collection as well. Who wants to do the fee collection? We did have that assignment for the task.
Well, I think that, Sue has shown her, outstanding capabilities
Oh,
in doing
boy,
that
I'm glad
last
you
year.
don't touch the floor.
And Wendy, can
I
we
second
have
that.
a cash box available?
Yeah,
and
and
ready
you want the
for me to-
receipt book?
And
The
receipt.
receipt book, so I can pick that up Saturday morning. What time will we start, 10:30?
Yeah, 10:30 to 11.
Gonna be real busy for that half hour.
Traditionally, do we?
8 to 11.
8 to 11.
Or until dumpsters are
Or until
full,
we get full.
is
But
what the
we're gonna have
sign.
2 metal ones this time, so we
Yeah,
won't.
Carrie ordered two, she said last year you guys filled it up really quick.
It was full in the first 10 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we take, computers and monitors?
No,
Okay.
We don't
Tires,
take
no,
appliances
paint,
either,
no.
right?
no propane,
No
tanks.
appliances? Unless we pay?
There's a charge for that.
Yeah, $20 for appliance.
Okay. Alright, any other questions or concerns?
No, I think
I think that kinda takes care of
it
it.
doesn't need to be any action, right?
No, there's no
Okay.
action needed.
At 6:30 on the same day, which is gonna be after all, all the cleanup is done. There'll be a flag retirement ceremony at the Freedom Rock.
Very
So
good.
I don't think there'll be any conflict with, we just take up that area in front of the Freedom Rock.
Yep, okay. That sounds good. Alright, on to discussion and possible action on authorizing Snyder and Associates to study and propose low-cost solutions regarding drainage at Sixth Street. Alright.
You're gonna get a bunch of stuff from my past experiences.
Looks like water runs downhill.
Until it doesn't.
Until it doesn't.
Did you get a copy of, the email?
Yep, I did. I've taken a quick look at it. It's kind of a localized low spot in that roadway that doesn't look like it has too much of an outlet. It does look like it might want to go east there's a drainage between, along the west side of, the retirement village there. What I don't know there is if that's a private, well, it is private property. I don't, does the city own that? No, that's private. So, the solution there might be a public easement, drainage easement, to utilize that drainage to be able to take the right-of-way water there, because it looks like the high point is kind of mid-block Sixth. But that's just my cursory early look at it, and look at cost or anything, so.
What I was interested in is, coming up with a, couple alternatives.
Okay.
Because, there may be a best solution for this, but there are other places in town that, have exactly the same problem. And, what might work here, may not be what works in other places.
Sure.
It may, in other places it may be, putting in a ditch, it may be, putting in a small storm sewer, I don't know, what the possibilities are, but, we've had complaints in, this area, consistently, and, taking a look at
Yeah.
how to resolve the issue and then getting it into a capital improvements program, I think would be a good idea. I also suggested that, we, investigate the, inlet at, Sixth, between Sixth and Seventh on Maxwell Street, and outlets on Main Street. Maybe roto-rootering it again, maybe, TVing it, just find out what's there. Cause that's another place where we've had, significant complaints, and I would like to see staff, use their, GPS equipment and locate locate all the inlets around
Beehives
town.
or-
I know there's a couple of them on North Street, I know that, there's a couple of them by the school. Where are all the inlets, and then
Work from there.
finding where we know the inlets are, then the next thing would be to find out what, they are inlet to, what kind of pipe, what size, what direction do they go?
That would be very helpful at the corner there, because the water comes right down Metcalf and goes right across Logston's there, and then just goes crazy. But it comes down Metcalf, and there's nothing along here that's catching it.
Yep, that's why we need to take a look at it and find out what's possible solutions are.
That would help.
And, so, I move that we ask Snyder to, provide a scope of work for the study. And at our next council meeting, we can review it, along with estimated costs and see what we can get done. Estimated costs for the scope of study.
Right.
Yeah, not for the project.
Oh, that's a couple steps down the road.
Yeah.
We gotta get to point A before we go to point B.
So moved.
Second.
Further discussion? Ken?
Yeah.
Joel?
Yes.
Doug?
Yeah.
Steve?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Right. Discussion and possible approval of resolution 2531, a resolution establishing the fire hydrant maintenance schedule and policy.
Oh. This was something I came up with for maintenance on fire hydrants. I also came up with fire hydrant maintenance program I think is suitable for a town our size. Pages 31 through 34. You want me to-
35 and 36 is the form they'd fill out?
Yep,
For
35
the
and
online,
36.
online data that would be filled out?
And 37.
36, 37.
Mm-hmm.
Scott did give me some on the maintenance program. He has some questions. So let me try and match this up with the pages here so I can tell everybody what page to go at. Page 32, under winterization, where it says verify barrel drains function in fall inspections. He made a note, report to Public Works after winter use. So, so if somebody uses that hydrant, they need to report that to Public Works. So just another bullet statement that needs to be in there.
That's a good point. Open it up in the middle of winter
Yep.
due to a fire.
Then Public Works can verify that the barrel's empty and
Yep.
so we don't have any problems. So, at the bottom of the page, he just made a note, need to figure out a normalized budget line for replacement. So,
Which one? I'm sorry.
just at the bottom of the page, he just made a note here,
Oh.
page 32. He just made a note that says need to figure out a normalized budget line for replacement. So, and this was just handed to me when I got here tonight, so I haven't had a chance to
Okay.
talk to him to figure out what he was talking about there, but I'm guessing.
I'm guessing he's wanting a line item in the
Yeah,
budget
yeah.
for replacement purposes.
Yes. And then on page 33.
Just a second.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, page 33, paragraph 7, the accessibility and clearance standards. Maintain 3 feet of clear space around all hydrants. And the question is, who maintains that 3 foot of clear space? Is that the homeowner that's adjacent to that property, or that the hydrant's on their property?
Yeah, so I'm guessing if they went and inspected them and they seen that somebody has something parked there or something.
Plant a rose bush there.
Because the city should, or the homeowner, even in snow, is responsible for clearing that out, so.
But weeds and things, that's city responsibility, fire hydrants. is
No, that's
not.
homeowner.
That's homeowner, that's on your property. If you got one,
It's your
it's your
frontage.
property,
If you
so
got-
Well.
you maintain it.
Public right of way and they
Right,
maintain
right.
it.
Yeah, I was
Right,
gonna
right.
say, in the
It's just like
right of way.
mowing,
It's
Yeah.
still the
Yeah.
homeowner to maintain.
yeah.
On the right of way it is?
Absolutely. All the way out
You
to
go
the
clear
edge
out
of
the road.
News to me.
You do it.
You mow.
Yeah.
I don't have a fire hydrant.
No,
No,
you
no.
maintain the grass all the way out to the edge of the road.
Yeah.
When you mow, that's your responsibility as a
Yeah.
homeowner to maintain from your property
So
line
if the-
to the edge of the road. If there's a hydrant there, then it's their responsibility to make sure
On the
that,
parking.
yeah.
Yeah, because you,
Yeah.
well, I don't have curb
Alright.
gutters, they
But
don't
even,
sidewalk or anything.
so like snow removal is
Snow
still the.
removal,
So,
or anything else that would.
so should we spell that out in here, that,
Should be.
Now I have a interesting question. And
Okay,
that
I can
is-
put a little bullet mark underneath that hashtag or whatever, bullet mark, snow removal, etc.
Fire hydrants. How, are there any fire hydrants that are at intersections? So that the adjacent property owner is only the city?
Is there one down at the maintenance shed?
Well, I was thinking, you have, the right of way is 55, 66 feet wide. And it's like the sidewalk that ramps out to the street. This, from where the sidewalk is adjacent to somebody's property, that's and that needs to be replaced, well, the adjacent property owner needs to pay for that. But then you go from there to the ramp out to the street, the only adjacent property owner is the city on both sides.
And there are some that, I've got the list of the 50 hydrants that we've got in the city. So Rock Creek Drive and 660th, 6th and Metcalf, 6th and Maxwell, 7th and Maxwell, North and Baldwin, 315th and S27.
If the hydrant's back far
Second and
enough from the
Baldwin.
street, then there might be an adjacent property owner. But if it's right
Baldwin.
there at the corner, in the corner, then that'd be
Jennings, Railroad, Jennings.
kind of the city responsibility as the adjacent property owner.
Second at Woodlawn, there's no sidewalk, so who takes care of that?
Well, whether it's a sidewalk or not, it's
There's no house there.
Second and
Property
That's
owner.
from my driveway.
Thank you.
We clear it, but I mean, who technically is supposed to?
The property owner, regardless
Well,
of,
they
the-
don't, but-
regardless if there's a homeowner living on the property, that whoever owns the property is still
We clear it
responsible.
just because I know you should.
Yes.
a lot of us do things like.
Because you might be the one that benefits from that.
Yeah.
Happen to be on a fire department, so I know. We do clear it, but.
Yeah, so there's approximately 10 that are on intersections, so.
10.
Yeah. And I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I don't have addresses for, so working on all that, so.
Well, we may have to look at the hydrants, some of them may be far enough back from the cross street that there is an adjacent property owner. Some of them may not be, and maybe the, 3-foot clearance around the hydrant should just be, just like a parking situation. If there's a clearance, the city, notifies the, adjacent property owner that it needs to be taken care of, and we take care of it.
Would that be notification from from here, or would that be from Adam?
Well, that would be, I would say it'd be from the city, because it's
Falls
not a
under
code
the snow-
enforcement, it's.
Yeah, falls under the
Okay.
snow removal.
Yeah.
Somebody doesn't clear their sidewalk for snow and ice, same applies for a fire hydrant.
Yeah.
But if, yeah,
Got any other remarks?
That's all he had written down on.
I think,
So it's-
under number 9, the 311 system, we don't have a 311 system, do we? No. So,
Is that,
just contact the city.
I think he's referring to the 711, which is the locate, is that the locate?
811.
Or
yeah, it's
811? Okay.
This is in case somebody
Yeah,
wanted to
oh.
report damage to ones, so.
Yeah.
We have
We
a
need to just
public
take
works.
that.
Contact the city.
Do we have a public works hotline?
no, that's what they're
That
Well,
saying.
that's what I'm
Wendy.
saying.
Cross that out.
Yeah,
just,
so
just
you
the hotline.
have-
387
Or City
Wendy.
Hall.
387
City
Wendy.
clerk.
That's
right.
how I think that's the
Okay,
number.
Call Wendy and she passes it on to get it
Well,
fixed.
that's why I was asking if that should be scratched through and changed.
Yep.
Some bigger cities might have something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's.
I would actually just take out those 2 bullets and just put encourage the public to report damaged or leaking hydrants to City Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, much better solution.
Gotcha.
So was that a motion with changes? Was there a motion with changes?
Now,
I'll make-
the changes
I'll move to pass this resolution 25-31 with changes.
And the change that I have noted is adding a bullet point under winterization that says report to Public Works if the hydrant is used during the winter.
Yep.
And adding repair and replacement, a bullet point, that, city will establish a budget for repair and replacement.
And then the.
And then number 9,
Would that be actually in the maintenance program, that part?
well,
Or would it be in the resolution.
So we would need to make it as a part of the resolution to make the budget line item, not the maintenance program.
Well,
Right.
we can
Because we're
add,
setting the
we can
policy.
add a budget line item at any time. And the resolution is the resolution adopting, this, document as part of the resolution. Fire
So-
hydrants maintenance program.
So
Cause
if
if
we
it's
can
not,
add a line item at any time, then let's just add a line item, we don't need to put that anywhere, do we?
I think it's clean.
adding a line item is just going to have $0, right?
Right.
And it'll have a specific line item number so that, in the future, we can establish a budget for that line item. So, yeah, may not, need to be in the document, but maybe some of the other stuff doesn't need to be in the document.
But I think further to Steve's point, the indication of the fire hydrant maintenance program is not in the resolution. So we should make this, if we want this to be the policy, this is what we're following with our policy.
Well, the resolution says, the fourth
Maintenance
whereas,
Schedule and policy.
The fourth whereas, the
deems it
fourth
necessary,
point under the whereas,
the fourth whereas, it says the city council of Maxwell deems it necessary to formally adopt a policy for the routine maintenance of all municipal fire hydrants.
Okay, that works.
So it's,
yeah,
it's
but
saying we're gonna adopt that policy.
Got it.
the
Perfect.
whereases are informational, the be it resolves are
The action.
things that we actually do.
Okay.
And so, the whereas says that, we
Number
will
two.
formally adopt a policy. So now we need a, be it further resolved that the attached, fire hydrant maintenance program, is adopted.
I think we just add that piece in there, it makes it more clean that this is.
Number two says responsible department, Maxwell Public Works shall be responsible for the planning and execution of the annual fire hydrant maintenance program.
Well, even number six on
Yep.
page
Yeah,
30.
Number six, yeah.
Says this policy shall be implemented immediately upon approval, with the first annual maintenance cycle to begin no later than August 1, 2025.
Yeah.
So this is identified as the fire hydrant maintenance program,
Yeah.
and it is covered in section 2, the annual fire hydrant maintenance program.
Yeah,
So
2
it
and
is covered
6.
as far as a task to do this program. So, okay, I'm sorry.
With changes.
With changes.
With changes.
Was there a
Yeah.
second?
Yeah, second.
Further discussion? Doug?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes,
Joel?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes. Thank you.
Appreciate you working on that. Discussion and possible approval of resolution 25.
before we move on, there was in the packet, a Matthew White plumbing, estimate.
Oh, received after packet for hydrant.
Yeah, that was a late submission from them.
Okay, and is that gonna be discussed as part of this item, or is it gonna be discussed later?
I think it should be discussed later, cause I've asked for additional, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Agreed.
When we've already had a fire hydrant replaced in the last year, and we had it done for $5,500.
This has come out to 20,000 apiece.
Yep.
So I think we need some additional budget, or some additional,
Bids.
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 So after we get that, then we can discuss it another
Okay,
time.
we'll put that under mayor report.
Moving on to resolution 33.
Thank you. Discussion and possible approval of resolution 2533 animal, Story County Animal Control Contract.
Move resolution 2533 reluctantly.
I'll second for discussion purposes.
Okay.
Okay.
Only.
I have one point of contention with this, that it does not cover any enforcement of our ordinances as it pertains to our animal control.
Yep.
So in this contract, it says this agreement may not otherwise be amended or altered without written sign and filed amendment to the agreement executed by both parties hereto. So probably need a conversation with them and see if we could make that as part of our contract. Otherwise, I don't really see the point or purpose in this.
Yeah, why do we have them if they don't do anything for us? I mean, it can be 4 hours before they'll even come and pick up an animal that somebody in town has captured and kept. So, what's the purpose?
Which I also find funny because it says in here that they'll do euthanasia on wild animals, but they won't come pick them up. So
No.
how are they gonna do the euthanization?
Yeah, even dead ones.
Well, if we caught a wild animal, do we then have the contractual right to take it up and let them euthanize it as opposed to doing as Ken suggested, and that is taking it out in the middle of nowhere and letting it starve to death?
No,
Or,
you
wait,
can't.
he suggested we not do that, I'm sorry.
Or you make it a pet like I would,
Well,
according to my daughter.
Chapter 4. They've dropped investigate and disposition of rabid, sick, or injured animals, and supervision of quarantine procedures and rabies testing, according to the letter. And rescue and removal charges replaced with Story County will assess the city.
Some cases, they rip that.
So exactly what are they changing on chapter 4? They say chapter 4, rescue and removal charges replaced with Story County will assess the city. So the whole thing is replaced with Story County will assess the city.
So before they weren't charging to come. Now they're charging $50 every time they show up, which still be zero.
Wait, this contract says $50, and the letter says that they're replacing
I'm sorry, I just got that.
Story County will assess the city. They're replacing, what are they replacing with those words?
I don't believe it said that they would be assessed per trip. I don't remember seeing that in
Yeah,
last year's
page
contract.
43.
Page 43,
No,
number 4.
I know what you're saying,
Oh.
but I think what they're saying is, this is the new contract we're looking at. These are the
Where's the new contract?
Right here, page 41, 2, and 3.
Okay,
That's
so-
the new contract.
So 43,
When they're saying here that the change in chapter 4 was rescue and removal charges, they replaced it with Story County will assess the city $50 per trip. I don't think we were assessed prior.
Per animal control officer, so if they had
There's
two
got
people, we'd be $100.
Yeah.
Brown sugar.
Okay, page 41 has E and F in it. And the letter says deleted with the everything is deleted with the exception of
E and
two E and F. So everything else in here is deleted. So this is not
No, it's
corrected.
It's not
It-
corrected.
At least that page is. So E and F is kept, and everything else is deleted.
I move that we don't sign the contract until we get something
Well,
from
then you
Story
just-
County that
just
is
vote no.
correct.
I think we should investigate maybe Jasper County or the Animal Rescue League of Iowa and see what they might have to offer us. Cause I think this is crazy.
Would that be voluntary to research other alternatives?
I'll call the Animal
Excellent.
Rescue League, I'll call Jasper.
Perfect.
Yep.
So we have a contract in front of us
With a motion to approve?
with a motion to approve.
No, I said a
No,
motion
no, no.
not to approve.
We had a
We have a
motion.
motion.
Oh,
We're in
And we
discussion.
discussed,
Ah, that's right.
and so now.
Alright, good.
Okay,
Joel,
No.
Doug,
Nope.
Steve,
no,
Sue,
No,
Ken.
No,
Alright.
I retract my motion.
Moving on to, hold on, before we start that. Sue, will you reach out to those individuals and bring a report back to the city?
yes,
Thank you. Discussion and possible approval of renewal of DNR discharge authorization and permit fee payment to the DNR stormwater general permit.
before we do that, should the minutes include what Ken was saying as to the reason that the council voted no? So that Wendy can just shoot them the, excerpt from the minutes.
Yes,
Okay.
which is that the contract wasn't accurate and complete and other issues.
Yeah, just until we get one that's accurate and complete.
And
It's,
and it didn't,
if it says that they changed, everything except E and F, I still see A, B, C, D, G, whatever,
Yeah.
so,
and
yeah.
so we have a question of just, what are they doing?
What are they doing for
What
us?
are they doing for us?
Thanks, Wendy.
Mhm.
Discussion and possible approval of renewal of DNR. I'm not gonna read it again.
Yeah, you gotta read all
Spence, can you help me out? Or Wes, can you help me?
This is for the Baldwin project?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I would assume that's what this is for. So essentially when we get our EPA general permit for soil disturbance activities to stormwater permit, it's like a 1-year permit, and so if the project goes longer than that, then you have to renew it.
Here you
Now,
go, Wes.
is this in response to Spencer? Yeah, so this came from the DNR. Author excavation expires July 25th, 2025. I would not renew this, is my recommendation, because we anticipate the project being done now, long before July 25th. I'll get ahead of myself. Spencer said he's recommending them pull the erosion control products right now because the grass is growing, it's looking good. We're gonna discontinue the next couple of weeks. So I would not renew it.
Very good. Appreciate
When
the
does the outlet get done?
So the
And
outlet
is
gets
that a
done, the
separate-
outlet would get after, I would make that a separate one. We'll have to do it for that one, but it's a liability thing, and so as long as this permit authorization is open, you're liable for any stormwater issues on that project. As soon as you can close it, that liability goes away. So our recommendation is always, if you can separate them out for phasing even in the same project, we recommend doing that because it reduces your liability exposure between projects. So we'll have to get another one for the outlet, but it's no big deal, it's whatever, $100 or whatever.
175.
75, yeah.
175.
175, okay, yeah, but it's not significant.
But this closes this.
This can close this one, which is a much bigger project.
It allows us
The
to-
one we get for the outlet will just be for the outlet area.
So then, the next piece is, this requires a notice of discontinuation.
Notice of discontinuation, which talking to Spencer today, we're going to be issuing here in the next couple weeks.
And would he file that with the DNR?
Yes, it goes to the DNR. Yep.
So that you'll do that.
Yep,
Okay.
we got that covered, we'll have it here.
Back to the outlet.
Yep.
Is there excess dirt that, the contractor's gonna have to haul away?
Likely, yeah, it's looking like there is.
And
We have a plan
is,
for that.
Not haul away, yes.
Don't hold
Is-
it,
Yep.
take it to our dump.
we can take it to our
Stockpile.
yard waste and stockpile it?
So, yes, part of that.
The contractor does not expect to haul it away and sell
If we tell them not to, no.
Okay.
We'll be clear in the plans on that, and that is a good point, because you have to be clear with that, because some contractors, they price that in, right?
Yeah.
If I can resell this, I'll give you a cheaper price up now, but we'll put it in there that we wanna keep it. On the NPDS related topic there, we will need to make sure we cover that stockpile location as part of the project and put control measures around that stockpile, seed it, whatever we're gonna do, but we need to address the stockpile too.
Can we use that on the trail on the side that drops off that we're wanting to
We
fill?
have a lot of dirt already
For
stockpiled
that.
down there, so,
Okay.
yeah.
So does that mean I need that for that pile of dirt that's sitting down there at the moment?
Is it greater than 1 acre or part of a larger common plan of development greater than 1 acre?
No.
The spacing, I wouldn't say. It
No,
is-
then you don't need one.
Okay. Alright. So, no action on this?
Perfect.
Thank you for handling that, Wes.
Good time.
Discussion of possible action on hazardous tree limit at Maxwell and Fifth, excuse me, Fifth, Maxwell Street and Fifth Street.
And then we have another, next item is another hazardous limb.
Oh, yes, we'll just tie them together. Located at 313 Baldwin Street, 3 trees within the right of way, reports that the core of the middle of the tree is rotten and poses a hazard. I just wanna remind the council that I don't have any funds left available for this fiscal year, so.
Said you what?
I don't have any fiscal funds available this fiscal year. July 1, we could definitely take care of this, but.
We should, go ahead and, if we have other trees that need to be removed, such as some, ash trees in the park, on the north end, there's a couple of dead ashes.
Is that on
Just-
the
just-
far north side?
Just south of that little property that has all the campers, motorhomes, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're on the north side of Second Street then?
North side of Second,
Okay.
south of,
Would those be like in the right of way of the Indian Creek or on the side of Indian Creek? Is that what you're referring to?
no,
Where the horse trailers park,
yeah, it's,
north of there.
Oh, right.
next time you're down at the city park,
Saturday.
check it out, we also.
We'll all be there Saturday.
Yes.
And maybe that's something that, Public Works guys would take down, because there's nothing hazardous around it. Just like in the, cemetery, we have some trees that need to be removed. So, if we're going to be going out with a contract, we may want to include those, or, staff, we may want staff to do it. But I don't know if staff has time to do it.
Would anybody be interested in getting me another list of trees
Ken's done his story, huh?
that would, identify trees, limbs, branches, just another cursory review of town that we could compile as a list so that we could put it together as another full
think-
So this is on the right of way that you're wanting?
Right away.
Okay.
I think
Right
we're,
away or city property.
I think we're, like, not thinking about what these two items are, though. These say hazardous, we're talking about other trees right now. I think we need to concentrate on the hazardous part of it, and if we don't remove those trees right now, and something happens, the money we're gonna spend out for the injuries are gonna outweigh what it's gonna cost us to get these trees removed right now. And I think if we call somebody and get these two trees that are hazardous taken care of now, the bill's not gonna come due until after July 1st.
Yep.
And so we could pay for it in the new fiscal year.
Okay.
But I think since they're hazardous, I move that we get these two trees taken care of, so we don't end up running into.
So this is 4 trees.
Four trees?
There's 3 trees in the right of way on 313, and then there's another tree.
Oh,
on
it's just the middle.
Just the middle tree.
Just the
He says-
middle one.
Yeah, he says it reports the core of the middle tree is rotten and poses a hazard.
Okay.
So 2 trees, or well, 1 tree and then 1 limb that needs to be removed. I think we need to get that
So we'll
taken
go
care
there.
of.
So that's your motion. Second. Further discussion.
And we can work on the other trees later.
And I will, since it's bike season, I will, go around down and see if I can identify trees in the right of way,
Or city property.
or, partially in the right of way, or on city property, and make a list for the council.
Appreciate that, Steve.
Make sure you stop first before you write down. I don't want you to end up having an accident.
If it's,
No writing.
No texting and writing.
I'm
If it's
on a
a-
bicycle.
Drinking and driving, riding and riding.
Writing and writing.
if it's a hazard, not
Okay,
a
Say that
first,
twice.
just a second.
We have a second.
Wait a second.
What, I'm sorry, Sue?
If it's a hazard and not a dead tree, but a living tree that is in the, it takes away from the view at a corner, does that qualify to go on your list of? I didn't think so.
No, not if it's still healthy and alive. Okay,
Okay.
further discussion? Joe?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Doug?
Yep.
Ken?
Yep.
Alright. Wendy, will you please reach out to Jake to have that tree removed, including the stump removal, and have him,
He's still in Vietnam.
oh, as soon as he's back,
Okay.
and then have him remove the limb,
It-
or see if the city guys can remove that limb if they have capability. If not, then we'll have him do it.
Okay. Tony's out till Monday and Scott's out tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
Nothing breaks.
Life goes on.
Alright. Discussion and possible action on list of streets to repair.
All of them.
I
You
made
have
up
the
my
budget for it?
list.
Within budget.
Well, within the next 100 years, I'm sure. I won't be here.
I went through your list,
Yep.
and there were a couple of them that I didn't quite agree with you.
That's fine. Which ones?
Old Settlers Drive. Why does it need to be seal coated? Can't it just remain the gravel that
Well, we talked
kind of
about it.
stays with the feeling of a city park, not part of a town? It's a city park.
Old Settlers Way has large rocks that are tripping hazards, and,
Strollers
it
are
is,
tough and wheelchairs are difficult.
and when I ride my bicycle on it, my teeth rattle.
I don't even walk on it. It hurts my feet to walk on that road. I will walk around it.
So does it need to be seal coated? Maybe not. Does it need to be bladed and get rid of some of the big rocks and
Yeah.
maybe,
Some real
put down,
fines.
I-
some, small gravel instead, or which
The
could
only
be
reason I
done
put
with
that
the
down there was,
ambiance
is if
of
there
a
was
park.
streets that I felt didn't need it, that were on his list, maybe we could
Trade
put that
out.
money somewhere else. That's why I put down cemeteries and Old Settlers Drive. I just went
Cemetery.
around, like I said there, I just drove around and looked at the list that Tony had provided. And put down my remarks.
Okay,
So is there a priority anywhere here? So that
yeah.
we have X number of dollars, and when you run out of money,
Metcalf.
which ones do we, stop at?
Metcalf would probably be one of the bigger priorities. There's a lot of holes in there and why.
Between fourth and fifth, it's not bad. Between third and fourth, yeah, it needs attention. But fourth and fifth isn't any worse than some of the other streets that I drove.
The parking, between the parking and the street is bad.
Well, yeah, but it's the parking area that there's problems, it's not the street itself that needs to be.
But don't we do the parking too?
That's still part of the street.
That's part of the street once it's paved.
Yep.
Well, I'm the newbie here.
Yeah, no, right.
So let me know,
Uh-huh.
but that was what I.
The street itself,
The street itself is fine, it's the side of it.
but that's
sides
considered
of
part
it
of the
that's
street
bad.
then, since it's been paved.
Okay, I didn't realize
Okay,
it.
okay.
That's why I had no on that one. I also had no on Rock Creek because it's really in better shape than a lot of the other streets.
Well, he's saying no.
I said no.
He's saying no.
Yeah,
Reality
I
Road.
know.
Okay, all right, I
I
agree.
know, I'm just agreeing
All right.
with that. Trotter Boulevard between First and Second. Can we patch the holes that are there and then it would be okay, cause it's not that bad.
So he was gonna order 40 tons of cold patch anyway.
Okay, well, there's other places that it could be used on some of these streets that maybe people think, and Webb Court, it seems to be fine as it is, and it's better than some that need fixed in town. I'm just thinking of the money part of it, okay?
That's why I asked what the priority is.
Yeah, Old Settlers Drive, just regret, we talked about that. And cemetery roads, if it could be graded and gravel put down there, because people on a regular basis do not use the cemetery roads. And small town cemeteries, how many small town cemeteries have paved?
A lot of,
Most of them.
A lot of them have concrete.
yeah.
A
You're
lot of them have
kidding.
concrete. No, I'm not kidding.
I've been to the
People are
ones in
proud
Des
of their
Moines that didn't
cemeteries.
have,
I was in a big one the other.
But Des Moines is not a small town.
I know it isn't,
Oh.
but they've got gravel in some of their cemeteries, so, you know, come on. That was my thought on it.
What
And
are
then-
So,
what are the priorities?
We need to
the
buy-
list that Tony has here, he had 2 stars on Fifth and Baldwin. That says hold
Oh,
on
yeah.
Fifth from Baldwin.
Fifth and Baldwin.
And so,
I don't even see them.
it's not on my list because he said to hold, because
Yeah.
Is that a seal coat or just a fill with
according
coal?
to that thing you sent me,
Seal coat that.
yeah. Which would be Fifth and Baldwin, which would be from the 4-way stop.
Fifth from,
It says Fifth Street from Baldwin to West End.
He's talking about
Oh,
past.
past, and that's where they're gonna do.
That's where
That's where we're getting ready to do all
We're
that
gonna do
construction,
all that
which is
stuff.
why.
That's why
Well,
it's-
that's why I hold off on
Fix
that.
it, yeah,
Yeah.
until you're done working there.
Yeah, and then, let's see. A plus, he added North Main to Baldwin, and Baldwin, I don't know what that means.
Which one?
North Street from Main
From
to
Main to
Baldwin?
Baldwin.
Main to
Oh,
Baldwin.
north of Main, okay.
Yeah,
North
that was
Street.
the connection from, that was the construction roundabout that had an awful lot of traffic.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Well,
And
and then you updated it on yours that says from
Maxwell.
Maxwell to Maine.
Yeah, and he had that on his original list too, so Maxwell, Maine.
Yeah, okay.
So,
When we seal coat, they come in and they'll put down, hot patch and they'll roll it and then they lay the oil and they lay the white rock. Are some of these places that, Sue mentioned that just need to be patched? Can we, instead of having them seal coat the road, have them just do the patch as long as they have the, equipment here, the blower and?
how long will that patch last?
Well, they
If-
did,
if
they
it's
patched,
hot patch.
they patched out in front of my house last year, and when you go through there now, it's sunk back down in there, so.
Oh, there's a lot of those still in town. And
Is that-
the
So they
other
don't
way
last,
to
they don't
street.
last a year.
Is that the contractor did the patch or is the city did the
No,
patch?
city guys.
See, that's cold patch,
Yeah, that's,
not hot patch. Contractor comes in and does the hot patch. And,
but we did the cold patch last year to get by,
yeah,
and it had holes, so I mean,
Right.
that's what I'm
so
saying is.
my question is can can we have a contractor come in and just do
Everything but the
small-
seal coat.
small, filling of patches, and maybe put a little oil on the patch and put some white rock on it instead of the whole street?
There's a lot of those, and probably would cost us a whole heck of a lot less.
Yeah, it should cost less.
Maybe next year we won't have expenses like Baldwin, and we'll have more to be able to do things that
We're
we
gonna be
actually
paying for
need.
Baldwin for many years, so we're gonna be paying for Baldwin forever.
Oh, I know, but there were extras that came along that we won't have next time. We'll have a fixed amount.
True.
Yeah.
So I see, the first two bullet points
Metcalf.
and North Street as the first three priorities.
Yep,
North Street, definitely.
Trotter.
Trotter between First and Second needs to be seal coated, so that's number 4.
Which one on Metcalf did you say, Kenny? Cause there's a couple of them here.
We're talking about
Fourth and fifth,
fourth and fifth, third and fourth.
both?
Yeah, the first two.
Yeah, the first two. The one down below from Broad and First. I mean, it was, to me, I thought maybe we could add that.
Add that, so
Yeah,
that'd be the
that's
5th
one.
priority.
Yep.
No, fifth and,
So he has
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different roads on the original one with, 2 of them saying whole, so that's 7.
what about?
That included
But
Rock
Steve-
Street.
So
which
far,
I don't
we
think
have
needs-
1 through 5. Our priorities are Metcalf between Fourth and Fifth, Metcalf between Third and Fourth, North Street from Maxwell to Main, Trotter between First and Second, and Metcalf between Broad and First. We have 5 priorities, and in that order, if we run out of money before we get to number 5, then we do 1 through 4.
On North Street, are you going all the way to Baldwin?
Should go to Baldwin.
Yes.
Okay.
What,
Yeah.
North Street, Maxwell to Main, just go all the way to Baldwin. Okay,
Yeah.
Maxwell
Maxwell to Baldwin.
to Baldwin.
Does that, okay, you don't have Metcalf at Fifth,
That one's
Metcalf,
Yeah.
but at the highway there where they had the water break, that's still a mess, and then you've got the The one side is more even
The
now.
DOT is handling it now, that's not my problem.
Oh, really?
We
Okay.
can't put cold patch on that, that's a
Okay.
state highway, but the DOT came in and did, I'm happy with that.
They did it themselves, I wondered how that happened. Good.
What about, is there any way we can take care of the mud holes on either side of Metcalf at Fifth on the north side? Because it's a water hole there and the kids
there an
walking
intake
to
there?
school.
That'd be a good question for what Steve was asking.
I
Where's
have
the
no idea
intakes?
whether there's an intake there or not.
I think there is.
I think there is too,
In
but
the
that's the
northeast corner.
side that was fixed. That's the side that is more level around and they
Yeah,
put it
yeah.
in there. But on the west side, it's a
Yeah,
hole
there's
that
no way to
every
take
time
care
it
of it, I
rains,
think.
the kids have to walk in the mud. And sometimes coming home, they like to splash in the mud.
I've walked by that 1,000 times, and that would take some serious grading and dirt work.
Yeah, ugly.
And I mean, it's the whole intersection. And it starts with the fact that they added 5 inches of blacktop to Highway 210,
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago, so,
I can relate to that.
I don't know what the answer would be. It would,
So DOT would be the ones that would have to do something, and they're not going to.
That won't happen.
they wouldn't do anything with the sidewalks, those are still ours, so. To me, that little mud hole that lasts for days on end is,
Mhm.
it's not a huge issue. We've other mud holes.
Joel, would
They
you
walk in the street anyway.
agree that web court, can be a lower priority?
Yeah, it can be, it's starting to fall apart a little bit more, but yeah,
Yeah, it
could be.
wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be on the lower priority,
Yeah.
Metcalf between.
The North
Okay, so
Street's-
I don't have that, but if
You don't have what?
I didn't have, Broad and First on, Tony's deal.
Metcalf between Broad and First?
I got it on my list, I didn't have it on Tony's list. Tony didn't have it on his list.
But it needs to be done.
35, 38 plus 3230 plus. Okay, so taking the prices off Tony's list, which would be 4th and 5th, 3rd and 4th on Metcalf. North Street to, from Maxwell to Maine, that's the only price I got. And then, Trotter between 1st and 2nd, it comes up to 13.6. 13,631. Now,
And what is your budget?
45?
I didn't,
Don't forget the 40 tons
that
Cold
wasn't even
patch.
on there.
you put it on this year?
That wasn't on there. Where's my calculator? I thought Doug was gonna stand up and do my calculator. Okay, so according to this quote,
Where'd our antique wood go?
It disappeared a while ago.
Maybe they got rid of it.
What is it?
The antique calculator.
The old little flat.
well, this one's not too bad for being antique. It's
That's mine, I brought it from home.
Oh. Well,
I found it hilarious,
did
cause
you
we all
have this one in high school or?
Yeah, but it's not dedicated only to calculating. Time I get mine to calculator mode, the phone will ring.
Yeah.
I just yell at Siri and have to tell her to figure
Tell
out.
Siri, run this for me. I didn't even think about that.
I
Modern
don't
math.
like your calculator.
Too many buttons.
I didn't have a calculator in school.
I had a slide rule. That age me?
Yeah. And a manual typewriter.
Oh heavens, yes. Royal and Pica.
Was it an abacus?
Abacus, yeah, that too.
I had one to play with as a toy before school. But I learned on it.
Yeah.
I'm old, Wes.
Well,
I'm
Steve's
old.
thought about
So-
using hot patch and not doing the seal coat.
That is only, according to what Pelling gave Tony for all the roads that he had, that's a $32,737, and I just came up with 16. So, I'm thinking probably around 25. We could do,
With the cold patch.
we could do Maxwell to Baldwin, and we could add Broad first. I'd have to figure out how much the footage is there.
From,
But the
Yeah.
5 that you identified, Steve, comes up to around 16.
You got enough to connect Army Post yet?
You want to do them?
I do want Army Post.
Well, I got $16,000 to play with, so.
so that,
Well,
that
Get a,
includes
get a cost estimate for it,
Okay,
North,
after they get here.
okay.
that includes North Street from Maine to Baldwin. Cause that's,
The 16,000 didn't sue because I only got a price just from Maxwell to Maine. I'd have to figure out what the footage
Okay.
is for that.
but that's
So if you
really
double that
in
price,
range.
you'll
So
still
if you
get-
just double it,
Yeah.
it's 6,400, so.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
would say, if, in my opinion, if we're gonna add in the streets that are in the park, I'd rather Webb Court came before the streets in the park, so.
Okay.
Please.
Because it's on the
Since,
list.
since
It
we
was on the
bumped,
list anyway.
since we bumped Webb
Yeah.
down,
Yeah.
but I would say it has higher priority than the park streets or the cemetery roads.
But if they can pass.
Yeah, I have,
that one area.
item 6 is the large holes on Baldwin at the corner of Court, and 7th is Webb Court. And then if we run out of money, we stop whenever, but if we still have money left, then.
If you share that with me, your 1 through 7 or 9 or whatever you got there, share that with me later, and I will
I think
get a new quote from.
me too, just 'cause I'm nosy, you wanna know what they are
Okay.
totally.
You take page 49,
Mhm.
and at each bullet point,
Yep.
Yeah,
it's as follows. 1, 2, cross out Rock Creek.
yeah,
3, 6, 4, 5, 7.
wait a minute here, you're going backwards, 4,
4, 5, 7.
7 is Webb.
Yep.
Seven is Webb.
And that's our priority order.
Okay, thank you.
Is that 8 for seal coat path to the park?
And if there's money left over, it would be really nice to be able to do something on, Army Post Road, but I think that would also be eligible for, RISE money. Because it connects the bike trail to the park and could have an economic development, component to it.
and that's a mess in some places
Oh,
along
yeah, it's terrible.
there. Yeah,
I ride my bike on it, and that's the only
So our
money.
budget was the $32,000 that he came up with, or what is our budget?
I don't know
Do you know what our
where you
budget
came
is?
up
we
with
don't have to
32.
meet
I
it.
think we were at 45.
42 or 35.
I have 65,670 for, street maintenance.
Remember that there was also the 40 tons of cold patch because we have,
Does that come from the same?
Is that this year or next year?
that was this year.
Well,
It's just part of,
Yeah.
usually Tony orders it every year.
and is it paid for already?
No.
Okay, so it's gonna be
It-
paid for out of
out of
next year,
this.
okay.
It's part of this fund.
But it would also, a lot of that's gonna get used up north of the the new construction on Baldwin, in front of the cemetery, that
Oh, yeah,
section
that
has-
stretch.
Yeah, there's a lot of caving.
So how much
And-
money
and
of that was
also-
there?
I don't remember, I remember seeing 40 tons of cold patch being on one of those pelling deals, but
Well, should it be, have we, oh, we haven't paid for it yet. Not in the bills.
Ken,
We
North
still-
Street, oh, go ahead.
We still need to make sure that we have money in that street repair for,
Other repair.
other.
cause they're already,
So if
that,
he says we're
that
at
hydrant,
60,
that
I'm-
hydrant bid
Yeah.
didn't include if they have to tear concrete for roads to redo the road. So if we do end up getting some
I
hydrants
sure
that,
hope we ain't pulling out the roads to replace, cause that's water lines, no.
Anytime the water department tears up a road, the water department pays for it.
pays for the repair on the road. Okay.
Ken, did you include on North Street to go all the way to Baldwin?
Yes.
Good.
Okay, so I will try and work on that. And get that back to you guys.
Do we need further action on that? Or do we need action?
Nope, we have a
No,
consensus.
just action on the list of streets, our action is to get new bid, so, right?
Yep.
Alright.
Discussion and possible action on dust control bids.
What do you say? We missed the spring.
And the secondary roads, once, if we're gonna do it or not, and the map and everything by July 1.
Gonna do
Is-
what?
For
Right.
the dust control spraying.
So we're not doing South Street, and we're gonna do,
Everything else?
Myers Street and, yeah, everything else, so, yeah, just not South Street. I see they were messing around out there by the bridge today. And we talked, what was it, Doug, 300 feet?
300 feet of 6/60th.
Yeah,
Instead of 500.
yeah.
300 feet.
Did we get any quotes?
No, I have not got one. Work on that tomorrow.
300 feet will take to that driveway that goes back to the barns. You're looking at page 53 of the picture.
Yep.
Well, I think we've already beat that one to a dead horse, so
Yep.
we have a consensus on what we expect it to be doing. I would like to hear a motion for, approval of low bid for dust control application on what's already been agreed.
So moved.
Second.
Further discussion?
Let's do it.
Yep.
Okay. Sue?
Yes.
Joel?
Yep.
Doug?
Yep.
Steve?
Yes.
Ken?
Yeah.
Thank you. Discussion and possible approval of amending resolution 2525 to add firewood harvesting liability waiver.
That was recommended from MJ, to add to our ordinance for liability.
And MJ is?
Or, I'm sorry, Melissa Johnson for insurance, that we get, the attorney to create one.
And we do what?
To have the attorney create this liability waiver if they want to cut firewood on page 56.
Which is what we discussed, having.
So
liability.
this would be sent to the attorney and have them wave their magic wand over it?
The attorney created this,
So
so,
the attorney already did. So we
Right.
would be adopting it.
Yes.
yes.
And
So when we would check out a key, Carrie and I would ask, are you cutting firewood? Yes,
So
then we
if-
have to sign it.
If Joe Green wanted to go down and harvest wood out of there, he would need this waiver
Mhm.
if he did. Okay.
Move we approve it.
Second.
Further discussion?
So, do we need to amend, the resolution? So that it says that people have to, sign the waiver?
I think that would be.
Of the 2025 was
Yeah.
the yard waste.
I think that would be good just to include a quick blurb in
Good.
section 4.
Mhm.
Says any harvesting would require, application or a liability waiver signature prior to harvest,
So we're adding a number 6,
or number 6.
and it's going to say, any, firewood harvesting will require the signing of a harvesting liability waiver. And so, we are doing a new resolution that will get a new number, or are we just adding, now, be it resolved that, number 6 is added to 20, well, let's do a new resolution.
Okay.
Why don't you just add it? You already wrote it on the 6th, on 2025, didn't you, or not?
I did, but what legal,
What would a new resolution do that this would?
what a new resolution would do is give something that the city clerk can hand out, or tell people, here it is, this is the requirement, and it's all listed in one place. If we just say, yeah, let's add a number 6, well, we have a resolution 2025, and we have in the minutes someplace that we're adding a number 6, and does it get added to 2025, gets rewritten? To me, it's more confusing.
Okay.
Okay.
Table till next month?
Now, we have it on the agenda, right?
Yes.
I move, that, we amend resolution, 2025, policy, for the use of the yard waste facility by adding number 6 that says any
That's not
firewood
used. I thought we were
harvesting
using it.
will require the signing of a harvesting liability waiver, and that the, amended policy, be available for the public.
Right.
So I'm confused.
I'll second it, I think.
Well,
So we're just amending it?
Yeah, we're just amending, but that's a flip-flop from where I thought you were going.
Me too.
Yeah. We're not rewriting, we're just amending.
what would the next resolution be?
2025-34.
So we just name this one 2025-34 with the
That,
amendment.
yes, that we adopt, resolution 2025-34, that it has the text of 2025-25 with the addition of number 6.
Okay.
So that was an amendment to his motion.
I'll still second it.
Okay.
Okay.
Further
No, that
discussion.
is the motion.
That's the, no, that would be amended
Yeah,
motion,
that
cause
was
we already had a
amended,
second.
yeah,
Yeah, we seconded it, but we're still, so is 2025 dead?
It will be superseded, yes.
Okay, all right, now I follow it completely.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Jake will be home Saturday.
Oh, very good, thank you.
Okay.
Further discussion? Sue? Ken?
No. Just because.
Joel?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
I'm surprised you didn't say.
Joel had said no, then I would have said no.
Sue, you said no?
No, I said yes.
But Sue, you said no?
Ken?
No,
Yeah.
Ken said no,
Yes,
everybody else
Ken
said yes.
said no
I
this
said no
time.
just because. I felt like voting no.
Alright,
On
Motion
something
carries.
tonight.
discussion and action on purchasing the Heart of Iowa Nature Trail.
Hard signs, so I'd looked online and I found this place that could do signs, and I think it was, ended up, what, about $1,000? And Blackbird, Nevada, you can do the same thing for $200.
$20 a sign,
Yeah,
in fact.
yeah, $18 at $807 per unit.
Wait.
So, I make a motion, we go with Blackbird. It's a
You already had approval.
It's a one-sided printed and laminated aluminum sign with a half-inch radius, corners and holes, and it's 24x6.
You already had approval.
You had a budget
Up to
of
1,000.
up to 1,000, so.
Alright, I'll tell him tomorrow to get
Go
it.
for it.
Got it, thank you.
Somebody did mention,
I know, I see this letter. When did you make this letter up?
I did.
Okay, and it looks great, but,
before we go on though,
yeah.
on your sign, somebody had mentioned, so we have bathrooms?
So,
Is
we
the
had,
bathroom identified?
we had restrooms,
Yeah.
and those were gonna be ones up by,
Yeah.
Scout Park.
Tomorrow?
Oh, Santa Barbara.
Yeah, and then we had Moms.
Freedom
and
Rock?
Freedom Rock, and the park,
The medical center,
medical center,
city hall.
city hall, and restrooms again, right?
Good.
Yes, restrooms again for,
Up there.
That was fire truck.
That wasn't police.
I
Wasn't-
say
wasn't
we
police.
go ahead with these, we get
Yep.
them, we put them up, and
Different
then
size.
we see whether or not,
We need more.
we need more.
yeah, I think the price is right, so.
Yeah.
And they do a nice job
Can
with
we
that.
add no motorized vehicles?
That should be for them
somewhere?
to do.
That's
That's
already
all, yeah.
on the Heart of Iowa Nature Trail.
It already
It
says,
is.
There's
it says,
a QR code that you
So,
can scan and tell you
Just
all the
take
rules.
pictures of the people that are doing it now and mail them.
go for a walk,
I
Hide back
can't
behind a
walk, but
tree.
I can take my little
Okay,
whatever.
laptop.
you got your marching order,
Thank you.
thank you.
The, while we're on the subject, we were on the trail and, stopped and talked to some bikers. One said from, Slater and another one from Huxley, and both of them, and these were separate, completely independent, and they both asked, where am I?
That was what it was. I knew, you were talking to
Welcome
me
to
about that.
Maxwell.
I want a
Yes.
sign to identify that we are here in Maxwell.
Okay, welcome to
On the
Maxwell.
east side of town, on the west side of town, on the trail.
That
Maxwell,
was-
come on in.
That was where I was trying to go. I just couldn't
Uh-huh.
identify exactly what it was that was missing. I knew there was something that was missing that somebody had mentioned, and I wanted to,
Rather than welcome to Maxwell, can't we come up with something that they might appreciate? Like,
of Maxwell at the Heart of Iowa.
yeah,
We
Yeah.
can use our new logo.
yes.
Yeah.
This
I
looks,
think rather
this
than
looks
welcome
really
to-
nice.
It sure does.
Who did
You
that?
got the artwork?
It
for
was the art students did it last year. I found it in some of the minutes. They voted
Neat.
on it.
Yeah, Maxwell at the heart of Iowa.
Do you have the artwork for that?
Wonderful.
Can you send that to me?
I can.
Alright.
I've been sending out letters with that letterhead.
Is it an official?
It is now.
It is as soon as you say it is.
Well, this one's got Wendy Crabtree on
Alright.
it, so I think it's official.
Yeah, absolutely.
Parks and open spaces.
Did you send this out? Sorry.
No, that was a homework assignment no one wanted, so I took it. Do you want me to just contact the businesses that are gonna have items on the sign, or anybody? Any
I-
local business?
I think anybody,
Okay,
cause we can apply it towards bigger signage.
Any business that deals with walk-in customers. I mean, we have businesses in town that, where people cut trees.
True.
And I don't want to be cluttering up signs for,
Hug a
people
tree.
cutting trees
But
or.
would they be interested in sponsoring the signs for their community?
They want to donate money so that we can put Welcome to Maxwell, and
Maxwell Harbor
Freedom
Iowa.
Rock and some of that other
Maxwell
stuff,
and the
that's
Harbor,
great.
Iowa.
Take the welcome icon list and go through it.
okay. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Sure.
Great idea.
Discussion and possible action from Parks and Open Spaces recommendation for complaint regarding Legion Park, Heart of Iowa Nature Trail conditions.
That's pulled,
Pull. Discussion and possible
because the
action.
mayor's already taken care of it.
He's working on it. Discussion and possible action on the invitation to transition to the new University of Iowa Consortium agreement.
It was for the credit card. I got it in the mail. From US Bank.
Can I use it tomorrow?
So,
Sitting beneath my knee too
For your
long.
signs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Absolutely.
Okay.
so this is just a US Bank credit card for the city replacing our previous one.
Yes, so this would be the one that I have, Tony has, and Anna.
Okay. Move approval.
Second.
Further discussion? Very good. Sue?
Yes.
Joel?
Yes.
Doug?
Yep.
Steve?
Yes.
Tim?
Yeah.
Do you probably have their names and ankety.
Discussion and possible action on Baldwin Street project?
No, credit card.
Yeah.
You, Doug?
Okay, Spencer met with Dale and I yesterday, and Dale and me, and we talked through a lot of things. We're getting close to the end. I did take this morning and updated, and I sent an email blind CC to everybody, didn't want a response, but we confirmed that we have 86 working days, which I didn't get corrected on the front page, or 84 working days, sorry. 75 and 9 is 84, should be 86 working days. Okay, so that needs corrected on the front page, that top section. So, second page you've seen before, that was an update, so I tried to summarize on page 3.
This new one that we got.
The new one has 3 pages.
Okay. Is that the one we're looking at?
Should be, yeah.
Okay.
And I guess it does have the 86, so,
Yes, it does.
thank you. I was looking at the old one too. So a staple batch that was just on the table here tonight. So out of 86 days, the rest of that first page is just talking about rain. Second page, you've seen that, but it was so conglomerated and I kinda had trouble following myself. So I took an arbitrary point of March 15th, where Snyder has approved, and on the weekly sheets, we had 105.5 days as of March 15th. The third page is the new page, and those are the ones that I looked at and could confirm with pictures of proof that there were crews on site. And there are 10 total days there that I feel should be considered as additions to the total. So instead of 105.5, taking their number, there are 10 more days beyond that. Some of them Snyder's had put on the sheet. That was why that second page was so confusing. Some were there, some weren't. And I end up then with 115.5, subtracting the 86 that was allocated and amended. I have the project at 29.5 days beyond where it should have, using the working days at tally. The month of April was not counted at all because that was the month that was allowed to be declared substantially completed for that month. But there are days beyond that where workers were here and did some things that I can send the pictures to Wendy if we need confirmation of that. I also, in thinking about things, you know, this project is way overdue. We're approaching a year on having it from start to finish. 5 weeks at the beginning, nothing happened, and you know that I think we were just kind of put on whenever there's time, we'll go work on Maxwell. But we also have Snyder's charges that are accumulating and continuing well beyond the 86 days or even 90-some days, and we know there's going to be a conclusion where it takes a whole lot of time for Spencer or somebody to sit down and tally it all up, balance all the books and get everything where it should be. But I don't think the city should be paying beyond the 86 or a reasonable number beyond that, which is where we are right now. So that is a concern as well. And I just sent it today, so I don't expect Wes to have talked to Spencer about it, but that's to the best of my ability and as honest as I can be where I think we are on this.
So, I don't disagree with you completely, Doug. My only concern is, so the difference between what your numbers show and what Snyder shows is 21.5 is what Snyder's number is right now. Your number is at 29.5.
8
So,
difference.
there's an 8 difference. In our discussion with Wes yesterday, basically what he was, or Spencer, I'm sorry. Basically what he was saying is that in order for us to incorporate your information into this, it's basically gonna cost us 3 days of work from Snyder. That equaled out to be about $6,500. You're at 8 LDs, which is, help me with the LD.
$1,000 a day?
$1,000 a day. So it's $8,000, but we're gonna pay $6,500 to get there.
I don't think it's gonna take, why would it take 3 days to?
I think that was just, I did speak with Spencer briefly this afternoon. I think that was just kind of his ballpark of, it's gonna take some time because we've gotta justify changing it, because this has been issued. And so we need to go back and double check our records, and cross check everything. And like if there's pictures showing, you know, that they're working so that we can cross the T's and dot the I's, if you will, because we're changing the days. And any change at this point, especially when you're looking at LDs, is liquidated damages. Sorry, yeah, sorry, I use my terminology, but liquidated damages are never given easily, and often go to litigation, or at least arbitration. So when you're looking to go after liquidated damages, you gotta have all your ducks in a row. And so now if we're gonna be changing to add days on, we need to make sure that we've got them well documented beyond what we've got on our records to cross-check everything. It's just because there's going to be a high level of scrutiny on it, because now we're at the tail end, and you could say we're padding the books to get more LDs, more liquidated damage days. We're not, but it could look like that to a contractor, and that means they're going to fight it. Most contractors fight liquidated damages regardless.
I mean, Doug's been raising this issue for 4 or 5, 6 months. And so how do we get down to a point where we have a difference of opinion between us and you?
I don't know exactly. I know Doug has been bringing this up, and we've had, I haven't been involved in too many of them, but I know you've had conversations with Spencer periodically here and there.
But I haven't had any, I've asked for reports repeatedly.
Yeah.
And yesterday was the first time I saw anything from January 1st on.
Okay, all right.
Because we were still working off of the December 15th. Was
Yeah.
that the December 15th was the last thing that we had, and that wasn't given to us until March.
Okay.
So the fact that 2 weeks is what we had to change things, if
Sure.
we had them presented to us every 2 weeks, then
Yeah.
we could look at it and say, no, I got a picture showing that they're with a bulldozer or backhoe over here. That to me is frustrating.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know if it would have changed too much, because we still would have had the same, we piled all that effort up to the end rather than doing little bits and pieces at a time. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know if it's 3 days.
Is our expectation too high as to, what we would be expecting from Snyder?
I don't think so. I mean, as far as the day reports and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's too high. It's not often something that that gets asked for a lot. Most clients don't look into it that in depth that I've worked with anyway. The DOT certainly doesn't. They count their days, and that's what their days are on a DOT project. Now, this is a local systems project, which is a city project that's run through the DOT, so it's a little bit different animal. So not always that level of scrutiny on it, but.
Well, I'm not trying to nitpick.
No,
but I
no,
just think
no,
I
you
think
have the question, and that's a valid question, so, yeah, it's certainly fine to ask, and to pursue.
So what we have to decide, excuse me,
No, go ahead.
we have to decide is, you know, if it's 3 days, if it's 2 days, is it worth, at this point, seeking the additional days which may lead to arbitration or legal action, or just go with what Snyder has provided, which may mean that we get couple $1,000 less in LDs, but still end up with a significant number of requested funds from liquidated damages. I mean, it may not be what we feel it's worth, but is it adequate?
So, to further your point, so I'm using Snyder's base wage or base charge, it's $2.75 an hour, right? So times 8 hours a day, so it'd be $4,400 if it's only 2. So then we're only at half the cost of Doug's 8-day difference. So I'm not. It really kind of depends on, like, how many times do we keep asking Snyder to review it, but we've asked several times to have it reviewed and haven't necessarily gotten where we needed it to be. So it's kind of it's a double-edged sword for us. Like, yes, we want our days, but on the same token, we don't want to keep running up our bill with you, because that doesn't make sense financially either.
Agreed.
And I don't think it is all our responsibility to keep having to ask Snyder, trying to find our meet in the middle ground on where we need it to be.
Yeah. Let me talk to Spencer about that, and I'll see if there's a reason why those were delayed, like, I don't know if there's something with the audit or anything like that, but if it's just something that we just weren't getting around to, let's see what we can resolve on our end to accommodate some of that delay, and then see if it's really gonna, I'll push him to see if it's really gonna be 3 days, of review time. Because you've got some pretty good, I'm looking at it now here, you've got some pretty good records and some photos of work that was done and some record keeping.
I will send you the pictures, or I'll send it to Wendy so she can spread it out tomorrow.
And I think maybe Spencer mentioned it too, anytime you start looking to charge liquidated damages, you're gonna get pushback from the contractor. And so it kind of becomes a negotiation, and part of the liquidated damages, I'm pretty sure Spencer mentioned, is it's not a penal thing, it's not a punitive or a punishment. State legal doesn't support punitive damages. Even though it's, anyway, I won't get into details of it, but when you go to arbitrate that, they want you to show damages, right? So even though it's in the contract, they'll say, okay, you said $1,000, but what did it actually cost you?
And our costs are Snyder's.
And your costs are our time, exactly. And so that's a real cost. And I did look up
our barricades and things
along
those lines.
Yeah, and so our charges are a little bit hard to read, you know, since that November 4th date. I think our charges have been like in the $57,000 range. But now, some of that is stuff we were planning to do anyway, like a DOT audit,
Yeah.
so I didn't pull any of that stuff out, we would have to do that for you. But there's a good chunk of charges there that you can say, look, this is additional charges that came after the fact and would be, I think, reasonable to show actual cost to you because of the delay.
Right.
For gathering LDs. All that to say,
And that's kind of our point.
Yep.
And I
Yeah,
believe that that's
yeah,
Doug's
yeah.
point,
Yep.
that had the project started on time, been completed on time, understanding that we still would have had a winter break.
Yeah.
For seeding, and there's some additional work days this time of year because of the seeding process. We still had additional costs from Snyder that we're currently paying for that we wouldn't have to.
potentially, yeah. Now you say, you know, we started 5 weeks late, if we started 5 weeks later, that would have 5 weeks in, at beginning, we would have had time that wouldn't have had now, but, you know.
Yeah, all things in a perfect
all
world.
things in a
if it done
perfect world,
November.
but I think there's some things we can show there. So, if we can say, all right, we'll look to charge the 29, or what's easily justified here, without a lot of effort on our part, LDs can become a negotiation.
Yep.
So, we start with 29, maybe we negotiate it down to 21, like what we might have been at initially.
Yep.
But if we start at 21, we might negotiate it down to 15, you know what I'm saying?
You don't even think the 21 are locked?
I don't think so, no. No, because contractors always challenge it.
Cause you have to
You have to show damages.
damages.
So the days might be there, but we might have to show damages equivalent to $1,000 a day. So you might have say you have 21 days, so that's 21,000 liquidated damages. But if you can only show cost to the city of 15,000, well then 15,000 is what you would get negotiated down to. Just in terms of days, that becomes 15 days. Even though it was 21 days over, we're only showing charges for 15. It's a game.
It's a game.
It's a game,
It becomes
and you're
a
getting
game
the
with our money.
yeah. But maybe, you know, starting on the high side, at least we can.
Well, and also think about what are our damages if it's just Snyder's time, and that's all that we have.
Still $275 an hour,
Yeah.
so it adds up pretty quickly.
Yeah, 4 hours a day.
Well, like I said, $57,000. Now, we're still, I think, barely over our planned budget, but our planned budget was hourly not to exceed. So, just because we still have it in the budget doesn't mean it would have been charged if we hadn't used it. So,
Thank you for saying that.
Yes.
Cause that was
Yeah.
also a bothersome. You
Yeah.
know, Spencer thought, well, we're still under budget. Well,
Yeah.
actual costs,
but
what it
it's
needed to
not to
be.
exceed, it would have been actual cost, time, and, time.
Yeah.
There's no material
Right,
cost,
thank you.
but yes.
Anyway, that's.
Which we like to be under that, we like to leave money on the table, I mean, we do, we don't, but,
We do.
yeah. I like to be closer to the budget to begin with, but,
Yes.
yeah,
And
for
the money-
our client's sake, we want you guys to get, you know, only pay for what you're getting value out of.
Yep.
True.
There's no
No,
reason
thank
to
you.
pay over, so, yes.
So I'll send the pictures to Wendy tomorrow and she
Okay.
can,
I'll talk to Spencer and see if we can cut that down and do I'll do
Okay.
some after hour stuff looking at it, maybe too, and
thank you much.
see what we can do.
Anything else with that, Doug?
Nope.
Anybody else have anything else on that? Okay.
Nope.
June fire report. 3 calls, 23 people, no accidents, injuries, no special events, nothing is needed from the city. Fire meeting. Call critique. They had a drain issue on one of the trucks down Quarterbout, so. EMS. No EMS.
Yeah,
It was a late.
Everybody else have it? Thank you.
Yeah.
4 page outs, Maxwell responded to 1, We had 1 to 4 persons per call, 1 to 2 fire person assist, 3 for the city of Maxwell, 1 for Indian Township. Monthly attendance, EMS monthly meeting and attendance, yes. The monthly truck check was completed, the monthly CQI was completed by Story County Medical, and they don't need anything from the city. Thank you. To Public Works. Do you have something, Steve? Okay. Public Works, streets, nothing new. Water, we pumped 2 million gallons, we sold 1.7.
What about library? Did you,
Sorry, library, this library, we'll go back to library. Books total 159, movies 38, attendance was 439, speeding up there. Children was 101, 134 adults, and the bootlegging program was 4. Bridges has 132 with 116 on hold. Computer use was 33 adults, 28 children. New for library annual survey purposes. 4 hotspots took 85 printables, and open hours were 82 of 88. Current events. The B class with Mr. Rivethy will be June 25th at 5:30. The movie sale was taking place. They're reading books and getting quotes for building problems. That is water management on the front big window on the other side. Seems like every time it rains, water runs inside. So
Didn't they have that problem last year?
we've had that problem for years, and I asked her to get some quotes for repair. So upcoming events, summer reading program, July 7th at 10, July 8th at 10, July 9th at 10, July 11th. So Sam Res, Absolute Science, Sam Res, Science Heroes, and Fire Station Fun. And then Exotic Animals visit on July 23rd at 4 p.m. And they are continuing policy reviews. On to the library board. They finalize their budget. They have a policy, personnel policy that will be rewritten. Discuss pay scales once the city has a final budget tabled till August. So that's about it. Now on to Public Works. We pumped this 3.775 million gallons of water in the sewer. CIT will be repairing some taps and mains this week. Parks, we have a bearing to fix the merry-go-round, so they're going to be getting it put back together.
Oh.
That was the old one down here.
Mm-hmm.
There's no parts available, but they were able to source a replacement bearing. So good job on that.
Yes.
Regional System Operator Award. The Iowa section of the AWWA approved the Regional System Operator Award to be presented regionally to operators of grade 1 and 2 water systems beginning in '98. One award for each grade plant or distribution system may be given annually in each region based on nominations from local Iowa DNR staff. There are 6 regional field offices in Iowa. And of that, of the American Water Works Association, Tony Ness was the Iowa selection for the grade 1 water distribution and the grade 1 water treatment. So nice job on that.
One of 6 in the state.
Yeah, the DNR came and personally dropped it off, and they wanted to present it at council, but Tony didn't want to be recognized. So I put it on Facebook.
He's still getting recognized.
Okay.
Nice job, Tony.
if he doesn't wanna be recognized, he should wear a mustache or something.
That's right.
Grow his hair out.
Alright.
Name tag that says George.
Clerk's report. New water ordinance rates updated in G-Works.
And so that will apply when you do the bill this month for payment on July 1.
Correct.
Okay, good.
Library is waiting on a quote from Story Construction for leaking window issue. Began the RFP for the 25 audit. Billed Indian Creek Township for fire and EMS. Submitted EMS insurance audit paperwork for 24 audit. Met with MJ, she went over the insurance policy with Wendy. Clerk classes this week. Connected with Cindy Kendall on some outstanding questions training. She's not billed for emails or quick questions over the phone, but will bill for Zoom meetings. Recording 101 Army Post Road and Building. Story County Recorder advised to wait until after Old Settlers. And Story County has not responded to our 2080 agreement for parking tickets. DNR dropped off Tony's system operator award. Received letter 610 from SSA that they don't have record of 2023 W2s or W3s.
I gotta find those.
Okay. G-Works should have that.
Okay.
So probably just
I'll
need
get
to
it.
look for it.
Okay, perfect.
League of Cities posted their annual fall conference classes. Please attend.
Okay. And I talked to League of Cities yesterday, and they said if any council members want to go, or if you want to go, it's only $20 extra after my fee. So just an option.
So if a council member would like to go, please feel free. Clerk report May tabled until June meeting. Was able to pay the state debt tax, sales tax, and withholding for February and March that were overdue. Federal tax finally got the pin in the mail. We are up to date. Paid IFRS for February and March. Requested a waiver of late fee for February, which was granted. Thank you for that. Posted the opening on the library board. Anna earned her library endorsement certificate. The library board approved her pay increase and updated in G-Works. Posted, good job Anna, posted the opening for Planning and Zoning Board of Adjustments. Posted the opening for Parks and Open Spaces. Carrie and Wendy trained on Stop the Bleed kit was installed in the City Hall restroom. That was a countywide there in every bus, every school, every city hall, library, public works, every sheriff's vehicle, every police car in the county right now.
You said bus too?
Yes.
School buses?
School buses.
Interesting.
He said
Hadn't
they're
heard anything
smaller.
about it.
They're smaller than that big
They're
one.
smaller kits, but they are coming out. That came from the emergency management. That was a statewide grant that the county received. Spoke with council, Cindy Kendall about helping with outstanding city issues.
Question for you, Wendy.
Yes, sir.
Did anybody come in the last 3 weeks for Parks and Open Spaces Board and put their paperwork in?
No.
Okay.
I haven't had any
I
board
asked somebody
applications.
to do it, and I'll reach back out.
I had a request to post it online, and I granted that request, so.
Okay.
It was posted again last night on another source.
Okay, good. All of our boards have one opening, so if anyone knows anyone.
Yeah, I'll get back to
Wes.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Now what did I miss?
I have,
Recommended budget.
budget reports and
Oh, my bad. Hold on, Wes.
That's all
it's
right.
all part of
You guys have
Wendy's
skipped
city
these the
clerk.
last 4 weeks, or the last 4 meetings, so I'm a little rusty.
This is the end of the fiscal year,
It is important.
and we did a budget amendment, which should make it so that as far as Department of Management is concerned, we are not over budget in any area. Is that correct?
From what I understand from Melissa, yes.
In looking at the budget report. And what they do is they combine a number of things together, that we have separate, so that they're looking at a total, for like culture and a total, they total things differently. However, in looking at the budget report for, parks, it's $15,000 in the hole. And I was wondering if there were some journal entries that didn't get done, or things that, as long as Department of Management is satisfied with our numbers, then it may not be that big a deal.
Okay, I'll follow up.
But it affects, next December, when the rest of the city council is working on the budget, and they look at, these, how much was spent. If something got put in the wrong category, then will create a problem.
Okay, I will follow up with those.
I mean,
Over half
where
of it is
salaries,
wages.
yeah, salaries, $8,000 of it, like you said, over half is, salaries, in parks, and, seasonal. And I thought we'd moved some of that around to,
The cemetery.
cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
The, and maybe that's already shown down there. That's still a significant amount over budget in park salary. I just can't figure out from the salary perspective why it would be that much over. Cause that's not part-time help, that's,
Right, we need to have another meeting with the fiscal committee and Melissa and Wendy, because I asked for this, last week and saw where we were at, and it wasn't, not everything's right or where it needs to be yet. So, availability,
Pretty open.
you said next week?
Tonight,
It's not 10 o'clock yet, is it?
Nope.
Nope.
Got another hour.
my Tuesday,
It's not midnight yet, right?
my Tuesday is open.
Let's see. Next Tuesday, I'm available. What time of day are you looking at? When you get off work, around
5:30-ish,
5:30?
Wendy.
Okay. Yep,
See
I
if
can
that
reach
works
out.
for you and Melissa.
Finance committee meeting.
It's the 17th, right?
Legal service.
It's good, 'cause that was my only day, so.
I mean, the rest of it looks pretty good. And so maybe the, maybe the broad categories that DOM looks
I
at
think we'll group it together, yeah.
is just fine. The,
Very confusing with the transfers in there too. The totals,
Yeah.
when we calculate it.
61,000.
So part of that is that we do still have grant funds coming. The state grant for Baldwin
Yes,
Street
DBG.
has not been received yet. We do have additional additional, a third payment for the CBDG as well. So we do have additional grant funds coming, but, so that's why the budget and money looks very low right now, cause those funds were accounted for to be expected to pay for the project that haven't been received yet. And anything with the treasurer's report or the claims report? Any issues, concerns? Okay. Now, if everybody's good, Wes.
Alright. 5 points, Baldwin Street, we've talked about a lot of it, just a couple more things, we are in the closeout process, ready to close out the audit, and there are a couple, claims, from property owners that we're dealing with right now, some damage from the contractor, so we are working with the owners and the contractor to get those resolved. Don't see any issues at this time, but just to let you know those are out there. Mentioned that really the only thing that's left on the punch list is the removal of the erosion control item, which will be directed here shortly. Seeding is coming in nicely, Spencer had said, so that's what triggers that. What to expect coming up, there will be a closeout pay, there will be a second to final pay application coming through that'll actually be a negative amount because of the retainage that's held. There were some adjustments. So that will be coming through next. And then once the DOT's audit is complete, then we'll have the release of the retainage that will finish out anything left on the project. So nothing for you guys to do there, just letting you know that there's 2 final pay apps to go on that one. Regarding the storm sewer outlet, I just today got the draft plans for that, so I will be sending that to you here probably this week. I want to look at it first yet, but that'll be coming to you. You'll have what that looks like, basically what we expected it to look like, I think. So that'll be coming. Everything else is ready to go on that. They are finalizing the right environmental reports, but that's part of that. So that's Baldwin Street. Water treatment plant. I think it's just the last few days since you guys the final specs, cost, opinion, and plans on that one. If there's anything that you want to review on that or see or change, the contract documents that we sent have some things highlighted, like the bid date and different things like that we'll fill in when we know that date, because that's really the next step then, that is setting that bid date. I respond back to your email, Steve, on when to get Tiana involved, which I think would be now that we have that final cost for that project. I think that's would be appropriate. But
and you'll call her and
she was copied on that email that I sent it to you. So I can call her if you need me to, but
no, as long as she's aware, I can text her and let her know that she can contact you.
Yeah, I might follow up
by
with her too
email.
directly.
Okay.
If she was copied on the email, I'll just write one directly to her to say, hey, is there anything else that you need
Because there's the bond attorney.
Yep.
And
well, we're not gonna need bond attorneys on this one because we're doing everything through SRF, I believe, unless there's something
well, I
specific.
thought SRF we had a contract last time with when we did the SRF that said we had to do certain things.
We do. You're right. There's a requirement from the SRF now. You have to have a financial advisor sign off on it, review it, that basically say you're solvent to pay it back. So you're right. Yep. So that we didn't get her involved in that.
Do we need to get that plan for the water treatment plan on the next meeting agenda?
The preliminary plan. Well, I don't know. If you submit it to the council for review, we don't have to formally approve.
You don't have to formally approve it. So,
but it'd be available.
Yeah, we're a little bit different animal in Maxwell because of the size of staff. Most cities, it would not go to council or board; it would just go to staff for review at this point. Then, when it comes to bidding the project, that's generally when council approves the contract form and plans for bidding. But because because we're all involved in this one, we send it to you guys for review. So at this point, I don't think you need to do any kind of formal approval on council action until we get to that point of bidding, but wanted to get it to your guys to have the input.
I did
For
look at
revisions.
the cross-section of the pipe
Okay.
and found it interesting that at the water treatment plant, where the pipe goes down into the ground and then turns, the elevation of that, is, just a little bit higher than, in the manhole.
Mm-hmm.
And, but of course it goes down and then comes back up and I was concerned about siphoning out of the manhole if we have a lot of flow back into, the water treatment plant.
Yeah.
But because the elevation,
Yeah, there's check valves in there too.
okay,
Yeah, we always put check valves at the pumps just for that reason, because we don't want anything going backwards. Because our water's fairly clean, but where it's going is not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there'll be check valves that would stop any kind of siphoning on that one. They should be shown in there somewhere, sometimes they're integral to the pump system, but.
looking at it on a PDF blow up,
Yep,
it was
yeah. Yep.
hard to see.
Yep.
My turn for a bathroom.
No,
So that's water treatment plant. Nothing really on Woodlawn. Rock Creek Ridge, we did receive the revised preliminary plat with revisions based on our comments that we had sent to them. So,
Comments to the percentage.
we sent some comments. It was, we sent them to you guys directly, and we also copied the developer's engineer on it.
I don't remember seeing it, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
it's pretty minor stuff. Basically, it had to do with some of the stormwater management plan.
Oh.
We wanted to make sure that we're covering the city for, not increasing flows where it goes off-site was one of the big ones. But there's several things, so we're doing our review on that right now, make sure that they've made all the changes that would be in compliance. And then we also did receive, or will be, expect to receive, the public improvement drawings, which would be the actual construction drawings that they put together to build the streets and the grading and all that.
Here's if the city decides that it wants a 12-foot wide path between that first lot and the second lot, so that it extends off of 7th Street to the road in Rock Creek. Can the city, how much of a problem would it be for us then to give the developer 12 foot from the water tower so that they don't lose any lots? Things just, that one lot slides down a little bit. Are we past being able to do that?
No, we're, we're not past that point. Preliminary plat is general conformance, how the plan's gonna lay out. There's always revisions that we made with the construction drawings part, and then the final plat is actually what gets recorded. The preliminary plat never gets recorded. So if there were to be some kind of property swap there, it's certainly doable. I think you'd be subject to whatever guidelines the city has for disposition of property. I don't know how that always works. Sometimes they have to do a bidding process, sometimes it has to be a land swap, I'm not sure.
I think we could do land swap.
Yeah, so that would be the only thing that would be subject to that. Yeah.
We have two options. One option is coming off the end of 6th in where we negotiate with 2 property owners so that we could go directly off of 6th into the senior housing, and then negotiate with senior housing to take the trail north to the water tower lot, and then run along the south line of the water tower lot over to, Rock Creek Drive. And that's a plan that the council had, and it's, green plan, green capital improvements program.
Yeah.
For years. It takes negotiating with 3 property owners, and, then that's nice because the road or the trail would be further south, which would make it more easily accessible to everyone in the current plat and also in the new plat. The other option would be, a takeoff of what planning and zoning recommended, and that is to extend 7th Street, with a 12-foot wide piece of property, which is essentially the width of an alley. Put a, path on it, like the bike path is, a 10-foot wide, and a couple, foot of mowing strip on either side, and connect up to the new road. A little bit less convenient for the people in the existing, Rock Creek, but provides a safe route to school, for the new development and anybody down on the other one. They just have to go a little bit out of their way. I don't know if we want to really, pursue a, sliding that lot down a little, and doing a trade of 12 foot, or if we just continue with our plan and bite the bullet, negotiate with the 3 property owners. I don't. It would, we could, through eminent domain, get the property, because it would be a public good, it wouldn't be for a private, party. It'd be, providing for a safe route to school, a number of other, fluffy, liberal things. So I don't know what the council wants to do. And by the way, I didn't wear my button that says, liberal, woke, proud, thing, so.
Can you wear that next time?
Huh?
Can you wear that next time?
Yeah, I will. I've been wearing it around for the last week, and every once in a while, somebody will say, oh, I like your button. What? Oh, yeah, that's it.
The one going down, I was gonna say, the one going down, by the, as we call it, well, seniors living, I'll put it that way.
Senior housing.
Yes, senior housing, and going then for 6th Street, that would funnel for Rock Creek and the new development then, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'd be a lot more
That-
convenient for
yeah.
Rock Creek and for the
So-
new development.
So one thing I would say that if you're looking to make a connection to 6th Street, I don't think you have to worry about any kind of land swap. Because
No.
you could put the trail, the sidewalk anywhere on the water tower lot and,
Yes.
and get that connection. The only thing you would have to look at doing kind of land swap would be if you wanted to make a connection to 7th Street.
Yes.
Or north, but I think 7th is what we're talking about, so, but yeah, so if you went to, sorry, I'm going old school here with the big paper. So they are currently showing, this is not gonna show up on the cast, but this is horrible. Yeah, Ben White, can you help me here? So they're showing sidewalk that goes down and connects down to here where there actually is no sidewalk. So
But that's,
with their system, their proposal here, their sidewalk down, all the way down to here, if you put a trail along the south side of the water tower lot, here's 6th Street right here, it's a pretty short jump to get down to 6th Street.
and there's no sidewalks on 6th Street, so they're gonna be walking in.
It'd all be in street, but it would take you away from the
Yeah,
210
but-
intersection
yeah, oh,
and into town.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seventh Street doesn't have sidewalks either. Either one, you're dropping into
Yeah.
Into the street.
the street, but
Do we
it's-
have to blade all this in from the city if we put new sidewalks in this path or anything else we do?
If we put in that path, then yes, I would expect.
well,
in
we also have
winter
a sidewalk in front of the water tower here that would be cities.
It's gonna be city
Yep.
responsibility.
A lot more snow moving.
Yeah.
But, you know, we'd be there with our tractor anyway, so hey,
Slow time of the season.
that never snows anyway.
So I think the opportunity to, look at that and or get that added into the plan, would be appropriate with the construction development, the construction drawings. Both as far as the, if there's a connection to 6th or 7th, that would be reflected in the construction drawings. And
Maybe
those are gonna be coming here soon.
Maybe what we should do as a council is, contact the 3 property owners that, we would need to deal with if we put a trail along the south side of the water tower property, and just see how amenable they are to, having a, 8-foot wide or whatever, concrete path put in there.
I don't have any problem with that. Does anybody else?
No, I think it coming.
Wendy, would you send those letters to those 3 property owners?
Sure.
Thank you.
You're talking about senior housing and Al and the new guy that I don't know his name.
It would be Al Stratton.
Yeah.
Senior Housing and Jerry Wu
Yeah, yeah.
or Lacey White.
And for them,
It is.
I would think it wouldn't be a big deal to, lose,
So they would, it's.
couple feet of property.
The property is 56 feet long at that section, so.
You're not gonna have a
it's-
problem with
but
Al, I
it's-
don't think, but with Jerry, yes.
Al's property would probably almost cover it could come off of one of them. Judged by the way the road lays out, the property line, if it could take 8 feet off Al's, that 56-foot long would connect to, senior housing, so.
You're
But-
not gonna have a problem with Al. But Jerry, just from being a neighbor, I'm
Well, we
saying,
don't know until we ask, so.
I know, well.
That
let
is
him
also
ask.
the area that you're looking at drainage improvements too.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
So if there were some help on both ends there.
Yep.
That might help
Absolutely.
negotiate.
Well,
And maybe it'd be good if they were sending out a letter just to ask them to come in and have a discussion with the mayor and, the appropriate council people, roads.
I'd be fine with that if we could schedule a time, if they wanted to be,
you're so tactful.
if you wanna include that in the letter.
Such an asshole.
Just let them pick a date, or do I suggest
No,
one?
we'll have to work out timelines, but
Okay.
make it an option that if they would like to come in and have a conversation,
You say things like that
Myself
all the
and-
time, and I don't care.
Roads Committee, Parks and Open Spaces maybe, or at least a representative from Parks and Open Spaces,
If you have a representative from Parks and Open Space and a representative from Roads, yeah, they're the same people.
One person.
I do, Ken.
That's all right, guys. I'm retired, I can handle it.
What else you got, Wes?
Throw it here.
Man, where was that? What's the plan for, Spencer was asking, the touch-up of the shoulder on the trail connection for Heart of Iowa through the park?
We are working on that, I'm waiting until July 1st to get a skid loader in, and then we will finish that grading out, and what, I spoke with Spencer in regards to when hydro seeding comes through to do some touch-ups, that they would be able to potentially look at cost to
Okay.
hit ours as well.
Should be a small area then, yeah.
It's just both sides of the park, trail extension that would,
Okay.
up switchback, so.
Cool, alright, so you guys are working on that,
You talked to Jason Maxwell to come in and do some work?
I have not, right now, it's just because he was originally talked to about getting it done, but hasn't been able to. So now I'm putting it on us because we need to get it done.
Well, yeah,
Get it done.
you really need a skid loader.
Yep, and that's what we're getting in July. We're just waiting till July 1st to go get a skid loader, so we can. But,
They won't take
I don't-
a
I don't
credit
have-
card and pay it later.
I don't have the money to do it at this very moment, so we're gonna do it starting July, but they're working on getting more dirt down there, cause they gotta backfill that whole side, you got dump truck. Bring dump truck loads of dirt down to fill that, the actual switchback, so. But, we're working on it.
Okay, I'll pass that on. Six Metcalf we already talked about, zoning map update, Steve, you'd sent an email about some zoning changes that are different from the last time that we updated the map, which was in 2019. So if that's something you want us to do, we can get that in on that same form or the same format of map that came out of GIS. Get those reflected.
Is this something that we can have, Story County put a layer?
I think we got the layers from Story County last time. So.
Cause I know you go
Yeah.
to the Story County, you go to Beacon.
Yep.
And you can see Ames zoning or you can see Roland zoning.
Yep.
So, they can add Maxwell zoning
Yeah.
and then it'd just be.
Just go to the.
It'd be on Beacon.
And I was thinking, I'm thinking the zoning came from a database somewhere with the county. I don't think we created it from scratch.
Plan and zoning have that information.
Planning and zoning wouldn't have it in
They would-
database
I mean,
format, I
they
think it would be the county, but I'm not sure why the county would have it. Let me look into that.
I have
You have the database for
well,
zoning?
I have the map.
Yeah, yeah, usually share the map.
And the map is based on Beacon.
Yeah.
It's to scale with Beacon. It's just not geographically positioned. It's at a 0, 0 coordinate rather
Yeah.
than
Right.
whatever.
And what we have is coordinate, I'm pretty sure it's a coordinate system based database that we created the map from last
It
time.
may only take translation of what I have.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can export to a DXF. I just don't
Yeah.
know how well it's exported.
Well, I think, it's not that many changes, there's that one parcel in the middle of town, there's actually, it looks like a discrepancy on the north end of Rock Creek.
Yep, that was changed, to, suburban.
Well, there's two there's the guy, the just
Okay.
the recent purchase that's RS now, but then there was also a piece on Rock Creek Drive that last property at the second entrance to the new one, to the proposed development. Our map showed that as RE, whereas your map showed it as R1. So I'm thinking it probably should be R1, but, so that would be a minor change. So there's just those three changes, so, I'll look into what we have, where we got it from, and I won't make any maps unless you want us to, but if it's something we just provide to Beacon through Story County and let them host it, then you can always just go there and get the updated.
I tried doing that maybe 4 years ago
Yeah.
and didn't get anywhere because my map
Wasn't geo-referenced.
wasn't geo-referenced.
Okay.
And so it may be if you guys
Yep.
get everything so that it looks good and you provide it to Story County on our behalf,
Yeah.
then we would have a zoning map just like Roland.
Yep.
On Beacon, and anybody who wants to see what the zoning is.
Yeah, then they don't have to ask the city for it, they can just go to B, that's fine. I mean, we can still make a pretty poster if you want,
Yeah.
but, that seems like a good repository for that data, so. Do you have a contact with who you talked to at the county the last time, or kind of
It was their
GIS?
GIS
Just-
guy.
okay.
I don't know, it could be the same
He's
guy.
probably a new guy anyway, so, okay,
I think it's Matt,
I'll shoot 'em.
Matt Beck,
okay.
who's the GIS guy.
About acreage.
Yeah, I don't know if
I
that's
sold it for
the same guy, I thought that's like 4 years ago, 5 years ago now.
Okay,
So,
I'll chase that
You know,
one.
you keep saying.
That's all I've got, unless there's anything else you guys have for me.
Hey Wes, Snyder dropped off the final plat in this giant thing, does this need
Yes.
to go to P and Z first? Or-
I don't, the final plat or the preliminary plat?
I have-
think it's the revised
I
preliminary plat.
have the
right?
revised and then like 5 minutes before we close, they dropped off this final. Can this just go to council or do I need to run it by P and Z?
Uh-huh.
I don't think, okay, so there's the final plat and then the construction drawings. Oh, okay, so they got them out.
Before it goes to P and Z, it goes to the engineer for review and
Yeah.
recommendation to P and Z.
I don't want it. I'll get it electronically.
Regular houses.
Yeah.
And so
that's- in
it
fact,
may be too late to do the
I don't-
12-foot swap.
I don't think so,
But
because
if we-
preliminary plats differ from final plats all the time.
Let's,
So I think it's preliminary plat for a reason.
if we can talk to the
Planning.
property owners, if they're totally against it, then maybe we look at that. If they are reasonable and, then maybe we continue with our, current plan of putting it down by, senior housing.
yeah, Al wanted to,
Okay.
engineering, which I think you can, because.
I'm done.
You have a third page.
Halfway to Brooksy.
Third page of stuff that's no new update. Perfect.
I see
Thank
nothing
you.
on the third page.
Nothing bolded on that page. That's why I started doing that.
And then there's.
Parks and open spaces,
There's nothing.
pilot rock fire pit insert ordered from RJ Thomas Manufacturing in Cherokee to be delivered
It's coming tomorrow.
tomorrow. They need a place to store it. Good luck figuring that one out. You ain't got nobody here to help you.
Mr. Ness is gonna be the only one.
Okay, so I'm sure he can find a spot.
Yeah,
What's coming tomorrow?
The fire pit.
the Boy Scout fire
Well,
wing.
it's Steve's house.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
front yard.
put it in the back of my pickup and I don't have to lift it.
Contacted a donor about an installation of a concrete pad for the flag disposal pit. Eagle Scout candidate project by Steve Restore. Steven is currently. Sorry. Thank you. Steven is currently preparing a layout and construction details. Appears that they have lost 4 trees from our 2022 planting that will need to be replaced in the legacy fir oak at the cemetery. So that should be a fall planting project. Cassidy has researched possible flooring for the Gaga ball pit. Say that 3 times fast. City Park, as well as new play equipment for the dog park. The board will research and choose a flooring at their July meeting. She has a number of great ideas for the dog park fundraiser, so any volunteers will be welcome. Money raised would go to the equipment and the new fencing to change the entrance location to enter from Broad Street. Also.
Would anybody on the council have problem with, if they do a fundraiser, keeping the money rather than giving it to the city and then paying out of it rather than having us pay? Because it avoids us having to do budget amendments.
I have no problem with it.
And there's all, if they don't wanna do that, then they could take the money and give it to Natural Area Renewal Committee, which
Could do the
will
same
bank
thing.
it and do the same thing.
As long as they have a bank account to prove it all. Paper trail,
Well, they're both non-profits and so
Yeah.
they could,
yeah.
Alright.
paper trail money to share.
So they mentioned that there's finishing work that needs to be done along the bike trail, and it is their understanding that has already been contacted about doing the grading, and we are working about that, discussed that one several times. Hoping to get the Legion Park bathroom doors painted as soon as possible. Leftover paint from the school class project, most likely using Spartan blue and silver, and they will seek a grant to paint the entire structure. Planning is ongoing to prepare for the Heart of Iowa Bike Trail improvement amenities for the grand opening, August 9th. Now projected. I'm gonna stop jumping in. Several discussions of preparing a detailed recommendation for the city council concerning signage for the Heart of Iowa Trail, including trailhead signs, direction to the bathroom, etc. We'll also look for grants for bike repair station and water fountains as proposed by the community visioning. There is concern about four-wheelers using the bike trail, not supposed to have motorized vehicle, and persons driving cars on the part of the trail between the ball diamond and the soccer parks. Possible solutions could be a post barrier on the extension of Broad Street and the retractable pavement barriers that block motorized vehicles. Plans and cost estimates will be presented in July.
Retractable pavement barriers.
You go over and you get a flat tire?
So.
A swinging gate?
No, they
it-
pop up.
Yeah, they pop up. So like, what they are is they're basically a divider, roadway divider, but they're on a spring. So if emergency vehicle still needs to make access to the trail, they can run right over it. But it's there to say, this is not a road.
So how do I take my trike when I'm pedaling my behind around town? If there's a barrier, do I go around it or lift my
It's
bike
just
over
in
it?
a car.
The trail is 12 feet wide, so you put two of them up.
You should have
And
plenty
there's
of
spaces
Still
Your
room,
bike's only what?
still room to go around.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's not a
30
full
inches.
barricade,
Yeah.
it's not a, it's just,
It's just two
they're only
posts.
like 3 inches wide. So they're just little.
And they're
reflectors.
offset?
They can be offset, they can be in line, there's still enough room. They're not very big.
My,
But it will
my
prevent-
bike's this wide. Okay.
We'll get you through.
Just don't
I'll
leave
leave
any
you see.
leak.
If you need me to come stand on it, I'll let you through. I'll be walking by. More, let's see. On to-
Inventory?
They hope to get inventory of play parks equipment, including age, yet this summer. Then they can more easily plan for amortization schedule for replacement. No recommendation yet made for cemetery entrances. Perhaps instead of plants, they might consider pillars, such as those that are at Freedom Rock Plaza. Now that they have the integrated roadside vegetation management plan, we have better luck with Prairie Meadows grants for our larger projects. Thank you, Jody. And
Parks and open space
the
makes
rest
me
of the
tired doing so much.
Steve,
Oh, I don't have anything.
Sue,
We discussed the demo permit, and you had said that it had been discussed prior and nothing ever completed. Is there a way that we can start that conversation up again so that if people are wanting to tear things down,
bring your resolution with your plan.
The,
how to write that?
AI does
So-
a great job of that.
I
Does
just think
the-
that it needs to be done.
does the Uniform Building Code, the safe buildings require a demolition permit?
I don't know.
I guess that'd be the first place to start, just ask safe building.
Well, I bet,
If a demolition permit is required, and if it is, then letting people know.
I'm
Just-
thinking if you're, depending on what you're demoing,
well,
if it's got,
Wasn't that part of our construction permit that we already
I
did
thought
though?
that's, yeah.
I thought we already approved all that.
I mean, if you got something you're taking off and it's got asbestos
It's
and,
like-
you know, you have to take care of it.
a barn, and it's in that catty corner from me, and they had equipment over there, and then we had the rain, and they took the equipment away, but they were just gonna knock it down. And it's right next to Al's property line and John's property line, and that's what concerned me. If they just come in and knock it, what's gonna happen with, I think they should have a permit that makes them accountable for what they're doing. Is that a good way to put it?
I swear that's already on our permit.
We started it, I don't think it ever got finalized.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but it depends upon what somebody's demoing. Because there's a guy that's got a shed that he's got fireworks in it, and he's gonna demo it, and, oh, there was that barrel sitting in the corner I forgot about. You know, we should know that it's being demolished. And I know I personally had to get permits for that type of thing when Don had his construction company. But that's been a long time ago, so I don't know.
That's why I was saying,
I'm old.
whether or not our existing building code requires
Yeah,
a demolition permit, because if you're demolishing a garage, then I would think that does require a permit. If you're tearing out,
Sidewalk.
some, Walmart,
That's where it came from.
That's where it came from.
garden shed,
yeah,
uh,
no, this is a huge, big barn. You know where it's at.
building code would,
I think we need to look back at the meeting minutes, because there's one on our Google Drive that's demolition permit.
Yep.
Ken
Ken wrote it.
updated it while we were sitting here and added the inspection by and all that stuff as we were working on it. I'm pretty sure we approved that with the changes made, that was supposed to be.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that was,
We'll have to,
Would've
Wendy, can you
been-
review that?
Is there a date on that?
you put November 7th, 2024, so it would've been
6
I was
months
gonna
ago.
say it hasn't been that
somewhere
long ago.
in there.
Wendy likes researching.
I don't have anything else to do.
Another one of those things
I hear that from
went by.
Tony and Scott all the time. I don't have anything
So
else to
then
do.
I'm not gonna check with safe buildings for demo.
Okay.
So to see if you guys put one in place,
Yeah, see if we
Yeah,
approved the finalized version of a demo.
Yeah, it would've been November or
December.
December.
Probably December.
I know that I removed my cable boxes before we got it done, so. From the Walnut Creek Communications cable.
There you go.
Anything else, Sue?
for me, yes, how are we gonna notify the public other than if they don't listen to the news? Fireworks, the new Iowa law. But only on private property, only allowed on the 3rd and the 4th, and on December 31st. That's a new Iowa law. How do we notify the public?
How
But that's the
how did they
existing law.
notify them? How did the state notify them?
On the news.
There you
It
go.
was on the news, but there's people like me that don't get the local news
I don't watch
channels.
it.
Isn't that the existing,
I thought so.
yeah,
I go to the,
third and fourth and the 31st,
But they go way before and way after, and I just think a reminder would
I
not
think the
be.
sheriff sounds like they're gonna be dealing with that.
Yeah, it's gonna be, that's not
We don't
private
have a
property.
newspaper, so the only thing we can do is put it on Facebook and say,
Yeah,
That's all
something
we can
like
do.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know who does Facebook now, but,
I'll tell Lauren.
okay, yeah,
I did a, Facebook posting, when the law was first adopted. And so, they say that nothing disappears if it's on Facebook, so whenever that law was first passed, I did a detailed write-up,
Had been, I don't know how many years ago, because they started selling, I was still working, over 6 years ago. So,
It's no change for us, so it's not
nope,
as big a deal for us as the
No,
cities that weren't allowing it.
yeah.
yeah, well, and the private property. This is for private.
That was,
Right. It
that's how
always
the laws,
was.
That's always been
Yeah.
that
that's
way.
how the law's always been, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, because you have to have a permit to do fireworks or big displays.
Big shows, yeah.
Alright.
And, cause that first year, I think I was still mayor, I ran around town yelling at people because they were shooting
Throwing
off fireworks
fireworks
in the street.
Oh, yeah.
They had their Roman candles and everything all set up in the street and were firing up. You gotta do it on private property.
Mhm.
That's kind of the condition behind the laws, that people don't like doing it on the private property, so it's more of an incentive to not do it.
Doing it on public property, I pay
Our
taxes.
mayor is a more imposing person now, so he can go around and do that. On his
See how
union
fast
laws.
the golf cart goes.
I'll fight with you, I'll hit him below the knees and you can go above, okay?
Alright, anything else, Sue?
That's it.
Joel?
I've noticed that the speed signs at each end have been getting turned.
Yeah.
And I don't think that is from the wind, because there was no wind. The other day, the one over here on the east side was turned. It got turned back, so it was working. The next day I went by and it was turned again. We did not have that strong of winds. I think somebody's going out and messing with them. So I wanted to know if we could have Scott and Tony look at maybe putting a set screw in there so that you can't just grab them and turn them. It's locked in there,
So the
like a
issue,
security screw.
so I addressed it, cause it did get spun recently with wind, about, well, it was before last Tuesday.
Right.
And they don't have access to the tools to, cause right now they're just taking it apart. And so they need me to get a hold of the contractor who installed them to find some sort of option to secure them, because right, I think it's just a tube. And I've mentioned, like, put some rubber underneath it so that it doesn't slide, cause it's metal on metal, and that's what's
I
causing
like
it.
the idea of the set screw,
Oh,
you
yeah.
just
Set
have a
screw.
drill with
Yeah.
a
Drill
drill
right
tap.
and put a security head on it so that
And
you
anymore
have a
you
special
can-
head.
That all comes in one piece.
The other option, if you believe that somebody is turning it, we have cameras that we can set in those areas too. So,
Next thing,
Boogers.
so I'll preface this with, I'm all about letting the public speak at our meetings. However, I think we need to come up with a time limit. The gentleman tonight took like a half hour, and the letter that he brought in said that he could request a hearing. He was trying to have
Not
the
do
hearing tonight, and I think we spent way too much time on having a hearing with him when he should, we need to get that on the agenda. So I think he could have had 3 to 5 minutes to say, I need to have a hearing. And I just think we need to come up with some kind of a limit on how long we'll let people
That's been
talk
brought
before
up
we put it on an
before.
agenda.
Okay.
And the third thing, so last month we had a city council person talk about being disrespected, and I feel that I was disrespected tonight during the meeting, when they turned around and yelled at me and told me to stop and think about it. So if they wanna start talking about people disrespecting them, I think they need to stop and think before they start yelling at other council members and saying comments like that.
I will also speak on that we will be respectful of each other at our meetings, and that includes our city employees as well as our, people who represent us. We are representatives of the people, and we need to stand above that, so.
I'd like to know if it was me, because I don't recall doing that.
Okay.
Can we talk later?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
I've had a couple phone calls about people living in trailers. I know this has been brought up before, but I just wanna reiterate that it is still an issue evidently.
Oh, yes.
How many campers have we got now? Down at the park?
There was
Two.
3 today,
Two? Three today.
there's a third one.
Are you getting
We've got all.
people paying for them?
Yeah, and one is a long-term construction worker, that's
Yeah.
part of the boarding
Mhm.
crew.
Okay.
But I've had complaints about people doing it in their driveways, camping in their driveways for long periods of time, so.
Or parking on the street and living in it.
So we have a complaint process. Feel free to address those complaints.
Yep.
Those complaints can be shared with Adam, who is our code enforcement.
And we
Because
have,
one of those was here tonight that was addressed on his property, so.
Well, and
The campers.
I hadn't had a chance to look at it. Do we have an ordinance that says you can't live
no,
in a camper? I didn't think there was, but I hadn't really had time to look at all that
city
stuff.
council, back when I was, mayor, had it in front of them, and, the council decided not to adopt anything because, we are a small community and everybody gets along well, or some such thing. Were you
I
on the
almost
council
pulled my
then?
camper out.
so.
I'm remodeling my upstairs. I'm living in my basement right now, so I can't.
So,
be
yeah,
out
we
all
had-
better.
We pulled in what a lot of other cities did, it was presented to the council, and, they just didn't wanna deal with it. So,
Where is it?
new council, maybe this council wishes to, deal with it, there are issues, in, like if somebody has, family members from out of state, that come in with a, camper or a trailer, and they park it in the driveway and they're staying for 30 days, is that okay, or is that not okay? And
Nope.
some cities say, well, it's okay if you get a permit from the city, so that they know a starting and ending date. Other communities say, no, it's only 10 days. I mean, there's a whole gambit of possibilities. Do we wanna look at that again?
But we charge for camping at the park, so why don't we charge for parking on a street and living there for 30 days?
Who's parking?
Why
in
do
the-
we have,
Who's parking in the street?
oh,
Cause that's another
there
issue.
have
That's
been.
something else.
That's new to me.
That I haven't
I've
seen
never-
any, most of the campers that people are reported as being staying are on their private property.
Yeah, there's some
Fourth
in the, but we're
Street.
missing tax dollars for people who are living in campers for 2, 3, 4, 5 years and using the facilities in the house.
On 4th Street between Maxwell and Main, there is a huge motorhome that's parked there,
I don't think they're
And-
living in there though.
huh?
I don't think they're living
Somebody
in there.
living in there.
Sometimes they have the thing extended out, I don't know whether they're living there or not.
They haven't needed.
Should they, our ordinance says that, as long as you move it within 7 days, it's okay. So,
But what
You
if you
can-
have it in the backyard and no way to get it out of there? You
If-
build a fence.
if it's on private property,
That's none of our business.
then,
Is there
Uh,
a way to tax for a half a home on something like that?
The campers
They
out in my
have-
yard. They get out and get moved in the camper.
Crazy too.
do we, I don't know, do we wanna, examine this issue, or get on with life?
My personal belief is that people don't always have a place to stay, and if they have a place where they can at least get started, then that's an option. And understand that there may be tax dollars going away, but what do the tax dollars cost to put them up in a hotel when it's 40 below, or there's there's a bazillion different ways that this can run. I can tell you that there was a car that was parked in town that I'm pretty sure that they were living in that car. But they didn't cause a single problem to anybody in town. They parked, rested, and left.
I don't know that we're losing tax money off of them just living in their camper.
And
Cause even if they're going in the bath, going into my, you know, I got family living with me right now that I'm paying more for water bill and more for electric bill and all that right now. So the city's still getting some money out of me.
And if it's on private property, there's tax dollars being paid anyway, so.
What about, south of, Higgins, is that, over at?
Everybody's dead south of me.
Quiet neighborhood.
What is the, people,
They're not paying any taxes.
living
On Baldwin? Is that where you're
off
talking?
of Baldwin on the
That guy
west,
used to
west
be,
side of Baldwin?
come to the, he took his one trailer off the lot, is that where you're
Yeah.
talking? He used to come to the Legion meetings, what's his name? Is that where you're talking, like right in the middle of Baldwin, on the west side?
Well, no, it's the little,
North of the park.
yeah.
Oh, north of, I know where you're talking
I mean, there's what, 2 motorhomes there?
At least.
And it's been like that for 5 years, 6 years. No house, no sewer, shouldn't have any water. Cause I think the water was shut off to the property. But who knows, maybe it was back on, there's no meter. They live there. Is that a problem?
Could be.
Our ordinance has nothing to say about it.
That's all I had.
I'm glad you brought it up.
So if anybody wants to bring it up, then everybody here is ready, willing, and able to put forth a resolution, so nothing's off the table.
I got burned on that once, I'm not doing it again. Somebody else is gonna have to bring it up.
Okay.
You posted something on Facebook that concerns me, and that's these letters that you've been getting, your 6th complaint. Is this, this should be, public knowledge, shouldn't it be?
It is.
Can we ask who's complaining, or can?
Not yet, cause it could potentially become a lawsuit. After the lawsuit would be settled, then yes, it becomes public information.
Yeah. It just, you know, I feel like the people of Maxwell ran out of mayor once already before you, and you do such a good job, and I appreciate everything you do, and that just bothered me. What else? Nothing else? That's it, I can't think of anything.
Thank you.
I have something I forgot. If anybody,
So seconds. Go
okay,
ahead, Sue.
I pass.
something real close, real short. If anybody, or you know of anybody that would like to have pie cherries, please come to my backyard. My tree's falling down with so many pie cherries, not pink cherries, pie cherries.
So everybody heard that, we need 900 people to go to.
That's right, come over to my backyard.
Address.
Are they ripe already?
What's your address?
We'll just have a line and you can go around the tree, pick what you can, and
Yeah,
What do you got?
it just, hey.
I don't have anything else at this time.
Seconds, Doug?
Seconds.
Did she make, who made the motion?
Oh,
no
I had
motions.
just, yeah, did you have yours though?
I just did, I don't have anything.
Said-
You just did, okay, I move we adjourn.
Second?
Further discussion? Steve?
yes.
Doug?
Yep.
Ken?
Yes.
Joel?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
We're
Good night.
I used to do any, all in favor, leave,